shimmering gold. I got a true love, always guiding me home. You're in my heart and soul. My heart and soul. My heart and soul. My heart and soul.
Welcome along, Mick and Nevin, the Nevster, my brother from another mother.
I've always been part of the Craig Griffin universe.
Yeah.
Always been part of the Craig Griffin universe, and now here we are, actually in the Craig Griffin universe.
Well, you were there from the Big Bang. Like, you were there from when the universe first started. We were back there from the day.
Yeah, the Big Bang, that's right.
Which, you know, on that note, it kind of strikes me that one of the advantages of the podcast is that it's kind of like what we were doing 30 odd years ago, you know, like early 90s.
Just having a chat.
It was just sitting around having a chat, you know. It was that kind of tribal, you know, daily sitting around overnight and having a few beers and chatting about, you know, whatever had happened. And that's kind of what the podcast is.
A lot of moon landing, if I recall, back in the day.
I mean, nothing was off limits, was it? You know, I was actually thinking about that when I thought, oh, okay, well, I wonder how many of the things we won't be able to talk about on the podcast. Okay, let's look at only the things we'll actually be able to discuss from the 90s, from back in the day, from like pre-social media. And I'm like, fuck, it's going to be a very short podcast. If we only have like the safe for work stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, it's been great. Thanks for coming along, Mick.
That's classic 2025 existence, though, is like the post-cancel.
Yeah.
You know, when they go, oh, Seinfeld's out.
Yeah.
Seinfeld's out because it was fat phobic, it was transphobic, it was whatever, you know, what other things? Ableist,
yes,
sexist,
yeah.
But then you're like, that's what life was like back then. You can't go back and just cancel shit.
Yeah. Look, it's even the same with, you know, and I've heard people discuss it. You go back to like the old Hey I Hate Saturday, red faces, you know, and the black face thing, which you look back on now and they're like, you know, you couldn't do it. It's like it's blackface, you know, it's cultural appropriation and rah. But, you know, I've always said you can't really judge back then from now's standards and what goes on. I mean, look, sure, there's things that, you know, went on back then that you just go, yeah, no, that was fucked. We should never have done that. To
be fair on Hey It's Saturday and the blackface, at the time, Harry Connick Jr. did go, what the fuck is this?
True. Yeah. They're probably a little ahead of us. They're like,
a little more sensitive to the whole blackface thing, you might say, American Harry Connick Jr.
Actually, I'd forgotten all about that, but you could see the look on Connick Jr.'s face. He's kind of like,
what the? Who were they blackfacing? Was it Michael Jackson?
Yes. Yeah. And I think there was actually a few. There was a couple of different ones.
Yeah, and then Harry Connick Jr. is like, you can't do this. Have they just done this on TV? And we're like, what's wrong with that, Harry? We're just having a laugh, mate.
I've got some footage somewhere of my old man and a couple of his mates they were doing. I forget what it was. It was some kind of a review thing they were doing, you know. And he and his mates were dressed up as Diana Ross and the Supremes. So, like, not only were they doing blackface, but they were pretending to be women as well. They were like cross-dressing blackface.
Yeah.
But again, like, you know,
different times.
It was the late 70s, early 80s.
Nikki, my partner, she's got she's a picture of her dad dressed up as Mr. T, I think. Blackface and Mr. T.
Wow. A pity the fool.
Yeah. What did I read the other day? Mr. T chose Mr. T because he, obviously, growing up, seen his dad called Boy. And so he chose Mr. T as his name because he wanted people going to talk to me, they're going to call me Mr.
Wow.
Yeah.
do you remember Bert Newton saying to Muhammad Ali?
Yeah.
And he goes, I love the boy.
I really like
and
the
he's
boy.
like, what?
The fuck?
You calling me boy? And he's like, he took serious offense.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm Muhammad Ali. I'm still going to play along. I get that there was a bit of a joke, but he was like, you could tell he was like,
Yeah.
you're seriously calling me boy? Like,
Yeah. This is my, like, in that retroactive cancelling, retrospective cancelling, it's like, you got to understand that that's a product of the time and stuff when they tear down statues. I just think, to say there's there's a statue of a guy up in I'll pick a town out of my hat, like in Traralgon, in Gippsland, and there's a statue of some early colonial settler who and heaps of shit in the area is named after him. And then people are like, we need to tear this statue down because he was responsible he massacred heaps of indigenous people back at the time. Like, he was a leader of massacres, and it's a historical record. Tear the statue down. It's like, don't tear the statue down. Put the other information up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just put the other, like, this is the guy. This is what he did.
Yeah.
And then if his descendants are then like, actually, let's take it down. It's not. Yeah. He's not as cool as we thought he was,
No.
But like, as soon as you tear it down, that's an act of, like, it's an act of not violence, but it's an act of aggression.
Aggression, yeah.
In that sense. The other people go, hey, fuck you! Don't tear our fucking statues down. And then,
but like, did we learn nothing from like prohibition in the 30s?
Yeah.
It's like the big stick approach that you can't do that approach was never the fucking solution to anything.
Yeah.
Whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, it doesn't matter what it is. Every time it's information and education that's going to win out every time. Yeah. The fucking big stick approach has never worked and will never work.
Yeah.
And it's that old story. It's this constant fucking pendulum approach that we have as a society where we go, hey, things are a little bit too that way. Like, classic, we watched the full seasons of Mad Men. Did you watch that?
Yeah.
And you look back and you're like, fuck, this is actually like just about a documentary. Like the way they were treating women, and the women were just secretaries, and the drinking and smoking at work and all that. You're like, that's how it actually was.
Yeah.
So to be able to look back at that now and go, well, yeah, that was fucked. Like, how did anyone get any work done?
Yeah.
It was like lunchtime, let's have a scotch. You're halfway through your pack of cigarettes.
We just signed the Marlboro account. Break out the vodka, boys.
It's like, everyone get rid of your Pall Mall. Everyone break out the Marlboro. Or break out. I forget what the account was.
Yeah, that was it. It was like Paul Mall and Marlboro or something.
Yeah.
We're not smoking those anymore. We're smoking these.
No, it was Lucky Strike.
Lucky Strike.
The Lucky Strike account. But it's that whole pendulum. I think, rather than going, hey, we need to slightly adjust things so that we're back in the middle. Secret to the universe is balance, as I always say. Rather than do that, they go, oh, no, we're going to go fucking full tilt the other way.
Yeah.
And then we have to fucking overcorrect. And it's like the fucking swinging pirates chip at Disneyland. It's just this constant overcorrection. And that's exactly the same with the cancelling. Like, it got to the stage, and as a comedian, you would have experienced that more than anything. I've heard so many comedians saying exactly the same thing. It's like, with all the political correctness and the cancel culture, there was a lot of comedians that went from pretty much going, hey, I'm a comedian. As part of the job, I can fucking do and say what I like without restriction. Like, that was the gig. That was the job description. To just have to be a little bit more aware of what I say and how I say it. And there's varying degrees of that. There's like some comedians that went, I'm fucking changing nothing. To some that are like, fuck,
the comedians who said no, fuck that, I'm not changing anything, they're not working anymore.
No. Yeah.
And I know every comedian I know who's been in it for 20 years or more has jokes that they don't do anymore, that they were doing 20 years ago, that they don't do now because times have changed and people don't laugh at those jokes anymore.
Yeah.
And you can say, whatever you want. Nothing's off limits
Yeah.
when you're on stage with a microphone in your hand. But your job is to make people laugh.
Again, back to Seinfeld, the whole Kramer thing.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is part of the bit."
Yeah. Oh no.
And it wasn't until like a minute in, everyone went, "Oh, fuck, this is not actually part of a bit."
Yeah.
Like he's having some kind of a fucking meltdown.
Yeah, he's flipped.
Wow.
But yeah, so, and the beauty of stand-up is it's instant feedback. You don't have to, it doesn't have to go to a panel of editors, doesn't have to go through the writer's room, it doesn't have to go, like, you can do that joke in front of live audience and they laugh or they don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it can be about anything. Your joke can be about anything. It's just, and it's all about context and
100%.
You know.
And like you say, the audience decides. You do 10 gigs of that same material, and you just get no laughs, and
maybe I'm the problem.
exactly.
Maybe.
You have to go, yeah, well, that's obviously not working.
This is a thing that comes up all the time because we do comedy workshops, Funny Coast Comedy on the Sunshine Coast, beginners comedy workshops, and you'll get dudes in there they'll write jokes about topics that they'll write. It'll be something sexist or homophobic or racist, and you'll go, what are you trying to achieve? Oh, I just I thought it'd be funny. Like Anthony Jeselnik's one of my favourite comedians, and he does that real edgy stuff. Or Louis C.K., he does that real edgy stuff. So I like that. I'm like, yeah, but you've never done a gig.
Yeah. They've got enough of a following.
It's not even a following. They've got the experience. They're
to be able to pull it off.
25, 30 years of experience.
Yeah.
To be able to pitch it in the right tone of voice, the right angle, the right words, the right, you can't just get up and say that shit.
Yeah. But, and again, it doesn't matter how big you are. There's still been plenty that have had a backlash on what the... Yeah. One of the cleverest approaches I've seen is with a lot of Joe Rogan's stand-up, where he's actually doing a Bundaberg, good Australian soft drink. Joe Rogan, where he actually makes it part of the gig. And so he'll say something that's, that out there, that old school, and he'll go, but look... I don't really fucking mean that. That's part of the joke. He goes, because I know that you all fucking freak out in this day and age and cancel culture. And he's actually written it into the gig.
Yeah.
And then straight after it, he'll say something even more extreme, and he's like...
That's not really...
He's like, I don't really believe that. I'm a comedian. That's what I fucking do. But then he'll go even further the next time, and you're just like, that's a really clever way of kind of making it part of the gig, you know?
There's lots of ways to do it. I mean, the main way is to make it funny. Yeah. Whatever topic it is you're talking about.
Yeah.
Whether it's racial politics, rape, homophobia, whatever, something about the trans, whatever. Make it funny, and then people, it's weird to and the audiences are different too in different places. Like I just done
What year was your first gig?
2003.
2003. So, like, in that time, you're lucky enough that you would have seen some massive changes of how things have evolved as society's evolved as to what you could say. Or, like, I can remember some of your early gigs, like your earliest gigs. I never saw your first one, but I was there for all of the earlier ones. And, like, the amount of shit that you could just drop and you could people just go, oh, really?
Oh.
And then there's that thing of, like, people laugh and they're like, fuck, I shouldn't laugh at that, but it's funny, and,
Yeah, it's all in the pitch. I don't, I've only ever just tried to write jokes and be funny. I've never really set out to just go, oh, I'm going to tackle this topic or I'm going to tackle that topic or anything like that. No. It's always, and I'm always trying to be nice and punch down and punch up, not down, punch up. But it's just changed in that sense of like, just like it was 20 years ago, it was different. Man, what an old man thing to be. 20 years ago, it was different.
When I was a boy.
But it wasn't better. Like, it was like it was less.
No electric light bulb, lit by candles with a shell on the.
Man, had to ride a horse to the fucking gigs, you know. Sometimes you turn up to a gig, they didn't even have a stable. You had to fucking unsaddle the horse yourself, rub it down, give it the oats.
It was like the ale wasn't carbonated.
Open mic comedy back then, man. You'd be lucky to fucking have a hitching post out the front.
You had to project your voice. It's like Shakespeare.
Yeah, but and you know, it's like fucking people are out there trying to get newspaper space by saying, political correctness is killing comedy. Nothing's fucking killing comedy. You know, there's
bad comedy's killing comedy.
Yeah, there's comedy on every night.
Yeah,
you know, there's comedy on every night. There's heaps of fucking people out there making a living from doing comedy. Nothing's killing comedy.
Yeah,
just people who don't write new jokes is what's killing comedy.
Yeah. And on that note, can I say on a very serious note, even though we're talking about comedy, how fucking proud I am of you. 23 years later,
Something like that.
You know, to see you go from the very start, you know, to where you are now and watch how you've grown and evolved with it. Mate, I could not be fucking prouder of you now.
Thanks, bro.
Honestly. Mate, you've... as someone who's been there from the very start and watched you grow, and I mean, you hit the ground running anyway. You were fucking brilliant from the get-go. But the secret is, from what I've seen of your approach to not just that, but whether it's, you know, it's acting or you're studying or your work or whatever it is that you go all in. Like, you know, if you're a poker player, you're fucking pushing all the chips in the middle. There's nothing half-assed about you. If you go in, you go fucking all in. You know, I can remember watching some of your early plays. There was that one at Griffith Uni, and you were like a dad. Do you remember that one?
No, the pregnant man, was that it?
No, you weren't the pregnant man. You were like a father figure. It was quite more of a serious role. But anyway, we come along. It was on one night at Griffith Uni back in the day, Griffith Uni Gold Coast. And I was just blown away. Like, I was expecting you to take a kind of a little, because, you know, you're pretty easy, you're an easygoing sort of a person. You're not highly strung. You're not, you know, you're not a highly strung kind of a person. You're pretty easygoing and go with the flow. But to see your work ethic and your approach to what you did, mate, I was fucking blown away. Like, it was fucking awesome. And that was, you know, way back in the day, you know, when you were just starting out and doing some plays and stuff.
Good fun acting.
Yeah.
It's good fun.
Yeah.
But, well, yeah, I mean, you can't sort of half-ass your way through much, really, can you? That's one of the things, you know, running comedy workshops and stuff like that and dealing a lot with open micers, you know, early career comedians and stuff like that. It's like there's no shortcuts. Like, if you don't, you know, if you're living we're living on the Sunshine Coast at the moment, based on the Sunshine Coast, but if you wanted to be, if you really want to be a comedian, then you have to drive to Brisbane, you know, and you've got to drive an hour and a half and do shitty open mics and get better, and you know, and people are. You just can't shortcut that shit. You know?
Yeah.
And everyone I know started out doing exactly that. Everyone I know who's a comedian now started out by fucking going for a 2-hour drive for 5 minutes of stage time, or hosting a trivia night.
Yeah.
And squeezing jokes into the trivia night in between asking people questions and taking 30 seconds out of a trivia night to run some material and set a laugh and just busting their hump to try and, you know, for that stage time. And it's not, you've got to want it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You've got to want it. And that's all there is to it. Sometimes you don't even know that it is. And then suddenly someone pays you some money for it and you just go, what the fuck? Really? That much? For what I just did then? Jesus.
Well, and you know, back in the day, that was my initial reaction. Again, as we said at the start of the show, like, you know, we'd sit around of a night and we'd chat. You know, the boys would all get together and we'd sit around and a couple of beers of a night and just chat about the day and, you know, whatever else was going on. And then you came out with, hey, I'm going to be a fucking comedian and make a living out of being funny. And I'm like, fucking hang on. So you're going to do like what we do every night, as in sitting around trying to make each other fucking laugh and entertaining each other. You're going to do that and make a living out of it. I'm like, fuck, like that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
And you've done exactly that, you know.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, you know, you don't know it at the time. I just bloody entered that competition because I was like, yeah, this will be interesting.
Tell us about how it started. What was the first gig?
The first gig was the Legends of Laughter competition at the Gold Coast Arts Centre in 2003.
Now hotter, now home of the
now home of
arts.
the arts.
Yes.
Yeah, I was performing back there when it was the Gold Coast Arts Centre, mate. But I was watching the comedy regular on a Friday night. They had a Friday night show there. Saw some...
Down in the basement?
Down the basement. Who did we see down there over the time? Vince Sorrenti, Gary Eck, Kitty Flanagan was one I saw down in the basement in 2003.
Yeah,
like
well. Vince Sorrenti too, funny as fuck.
Very early career Kitty Flanagan. She would have only been young for like 8 years
Yeah, okay.
back then.
She's
8 or 9 years.
brilliant, smart ass.
So she was funny, you know, she was super funny back then. But no, and then one night I went in there and they had a poster on the wall to say, the Legends of Laughter competition, first prize $3,000. And, you know, I was writing at the time, so I was writing...
And this is 2000, this is early 2000s. Like, that's a lot of money back then, back when we were a boy.
And in 2003, you could have bought a house.
Yeah, exactly. And a car.
Would have been a house deposit. And so I was writing at the time.
Not a real good house, mind you, but...
Writing a unit in Budds Beach. But I was writing radio ads at the time, and I just thought, there's something. And so, all right, whatever. So I just rang up and entered, and then I was, all right, I've got to write 5 minutes of jokes, and then wrote me 5 minutes, did my first gig, won it. So that was the heat. And then the second gig was a semi, which I won, and then the third gig was the final, which I came third in and won $300.
Oh, wow, nice.
And then...
Which again, back then, that's like a week's pay.
$300 is a week's pay.
Yeah.
In 2003.
Yeah.
And then just kept doing it. And then shortly after that, moved to Victoria and started drive to regional Victoria to be a breakfast radio guy. And then
where were you living in regional Victoria?
Warragul.
That's right.
Gippsland, West Gippsland.
Yeah.
90, what was it? 94.3. Yeah, 94.3 CFM.
Shout out.
And I don't think they exist anymore. But and then started driving into Melbourne. So it was like an hour from where we lived to Melbourne, and then...
Which again was what you had to do. You had to go where the gigs were.
You had to go where the gigs were. You want 5 minutes of stage time. Oh man, it's so fucking easy now because it's all online, and you just have to email. You know, I'd have to buy the Herald Sun, scan through the ads, go to the classifieds. The classifieds, to see where comedy was advertised.
Yeah,
and then drive into Melbourne to that comedy show. Or sometimes you'd ring up the venue and say, "Hello, I'm a..."
On your landline.
Yeah, on the rotary dial phone. And then you'd ask who is in charge of booking the comedy. Sometimes...
Well, for the early gigs, it was more the, hello, hello.
Sometimes they'd give you the name of the person who organised it. Sometimes they'd just go, no, you've got to come in and see them.
Show up.
So then you'd show up, drive an hour and a half to whatever pub it was, find the person, run the show, introduce yourself. They'd say, great to meet you, got a spot in 4 weeks' time or 6 weeks' time, and you'd put that in your diary. 6 weeks later...
Oh, so you're not even there for that night?
No. No. Shit, no.
Wow.
And then, or you'd ring up, and then you'd ring them and leave a message, and ring them and leave a message, and then ring them and they'd answer, go, oh yeah, you've left a couple of messages, you must be keen. And then they'd book you, but then you'd meet other comedians and do a spot, and if you're funny, they go, oh, there's another night here, and stuff like that. But, now it's just like you get on Facebook and you go to you join the Brisbane Open Mic Comedy Facebook page, and there's a whole list of all the gigs and the email number of the person that books them and what night they're on. And at
the same time, you're building your own following, you're on TikTok. You're getting your material out there. You're starting to build your brand and get a bit of a reputation out there as well. It's the same for actors. It's the same for musicians. That ability to be able to send your material with socials straight to your audience. not having to go through, through someone else.
Yeah.
And again, you're like...
There's no gatekeepers anymore.
100%, yeah.
Which is good and bad because, there are some very fucking average comedians doing solo tours of the country.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
You haven't got a good 10 minutes, let alone a fucking 1 hour show worth $30 to the people of Townsville.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's the way it is, so whatever.
Yeah. But, again, coming back to how well you've done, I can remember going along to some of your earliest gigs and going, well, yeah, in fact, it was probably even one of the first gigs I've seen. And I kind of went from, fuck, Mick, it's one thing to be funny amongst the boys of a night while we're sitting around, but it's another to go and do it up in front of 100 or 300 people and be paid money to actually do this. And I'm like, how you're just kind of almost nervous for someone else. And
yeah.
Fuck, he's doing it and I'm proud of him, but fuck. I get up there, you fucking killed it. You had them all eating out of the palm of your hand. You had, you had the material, you had the timing, you had the rhythm, you had it all down and just watching the way, the proof's in the pudding, the proof's in the audience. Like you say, it's that instant feedback, and just watching the response that you got, I'm like, fuck, you've done it, mate.
It's a, benefit of hindsight and all that, but you look back at your growing up and stuff like that, all I've ever really enjoyed, not all I've ever enjoyed, but I've just always loved humour and I've always loved jokes and stuff like that. So, I used to read joke books and then try and, 1,000 classic Aussie jokes and read the whole thing from cover to cover, but then make notes in the joke book pages and then go back and then write down what I thought were the 10 best jokes out of 1,000, and just be like, I'll tell those jokes. There's quite a few shit ones in there, but these are the 10 I'll try and remember and tell people, and I'd sit at the edges of adult conversations and just wait for someone to tell it. Susan, I've got one for you boys, and then just ears up.
And you're probably doing it on your phone now, but I remember back in the day you'd carry your little leather-bound book with your pen.
Yeah.
And, whenever and wherever some material popped up, you were like, fucking right. That you're probably putting it in our Apple Notes now.
Yeah. I used to listen to fucking Bill Cosby records, man, and try and, learn them, start to finish. Not as cool as it used to be.
No, kind of lost some of its edge. Him and Rolf Harris just don't seem to have that appeal anymore.
No, because, you separate the art from the artist. Good comedy. But anyway... so, when you benefit of hindsight and stuff like that, it's part of being a comedian is knowing how a joke works and all that. So, benefit of hindsight, you think, I was just ended up where I was always going to be, I suppose.
And it was always good for me to be going along to gigs with you. I saw so many of your early gigs and just seeing what went on around you, everywhere you go, everyone's like, oh, you're a comedian, fucking tell me a joke, tell me a joke. So that became a running joke for us.
Yeah.
Mick, tell me a joke. Oh, you're a fucking comedian, tell me a joke.
I know a few jokes.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen anywhere else, does it? Oh, you're a fucking brain surgeon, eh? Just fucking have a look at, disconnect my frontal lobe for me.
Heard a good one today. Did you hear about the bloke that fell into the reupholstering machine? He's fully recovered. Hey.
Come on. The two jokes, when someone says, oh, you're a comedian, tell us a joke. The two jokes I tell are, did you hear about the constipated maths teacher? He worked it out with a pencil.
Ah, yes.
And what happens when you cross a Hell's Angel with a Jehovah Witness? What do you get when you cross a Hell's Angel with a Jehovah Witness?
What do you get when you cross a Hell's Angel with a Jehovah's Witness?
Someone who knocks on your door on a Sunday morning and tells you to fuck off. Gold. Classic.
And you've done some overseas gigs?
Heaps, yeah.
Tell us about that. Tell us about your ones where you went over to, was it Iraq or Afghanistan? I think it was Afghanistan. Iraq, was it?
Yeah. I've been to the Middle East twice now to do shows for the troops serving over there, which is quite a what's the word?
An honour?
Yeah, it's a bit of an honour.
Yeah. And full respect to you for doing it.
Take the politics out of it. It's just about, you know, there's people over there that they didn't join the army knowing what they were going to be doing, you know, join the army to defend Australia, and then next thing you're over in fucking...
Some shithole.
Yeah, in the middle of nowhere on an army base in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
They didn't choose it. So, yeah, there's quite a fucking experience, man. And, you know, you go and, it's... Certainly, you've got to be a comedian who can think on their feet and make jokes about where you are and what's happening around you and stuff like that. Because you've got to be able to, you're trying to connect with people who are out in the middle of, you know, soldiers. A lot of them, you know, fairly young, but you know, you've got to talk about what they're going through and what's happening around you and stuff like that. Yeah. So you sort of got to be able to write material for each gig, in a sense. You know, you're at this air base and you're at this air base and then you're at this Navy base and you're different types of people.
Yeah.
That's the way to make it work best, in my opinion.
Yeah, but, for sure. Yeah. And you know, I noticed from having seen quite a few of your gigs is you've sort of got you might, you know, I mean, it kind of works with themes. You might have a certain theme. You're doing a particular season at the time. Yeah. You know, like you had what was the cult one?
Start your own cult.
Start your own cult, or whatever the particular theme is. And then there's I guess what you'd probably think of as like the core part of your routine. And then there's some that you'd add in. And even on the fly, you had that ability to go, I'm not going to run this one tonight. I don't reckon that's going to work, but I'm going to add this in. And
you look at it. You can watch a crowd walk into a room and just be like, oh, I'll start with this.
Yeah.
And then I'll go to this.
Yeah.
And if this goes well, then I can probably go to this. But if this doesn't, you know which bits of a joke are gonna... You can read an audience just by looking at them after a while.
And that's the difference of someone who's just not feeling it, just reciting, just saying the words, to someone who's actually using the brain, you know, and adapting it to the audience and doing shit on the fly, going, you know, it's like, this...
There's all different styles, and some people just won't. Some people will be like, no, they have to come to me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna do my jokes.
Yeah. And
if they don't like it, fuck them. But then, you know, which is fine if your jokes are good enough. But yeah, like particularly those army gigs, you've got to like, you know, everything's up. And like, it's just, in a sense, there's a bit of a court jester thing happening because you want to hang shit on the brass.
Always, yeah. You know, you want to shit on the hierarchy.
Yeah, hang shit on the hierarchy because most of the people you're talking to are grunts.
Yeah.
They have no rank or anything like that, and they're eating shit every day.
Yes.
Because of the people above them, so they want to hear a bit of that. You know. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
The one I did at the Solomon Islands, we'd been out on a which was awesome. We went out on this World War II battlefield tour, you know, in Guadalcanal.
Yeah.
So like, and it's insane because they had, it's been a place that veterans come back and the Guadalcanal battles. US Marines have gone back there, you know, to deal with the trauma and shit like that, as well as Japanese army veterans.
Yeah, wow.
Gone back there. And so they've had military historians there talking to these veterans. So the battlefield tours are insane because they can actually tell you the names of the dudes that were in this foxhole. You know, this is like where Private Eugene Lawrence from Maine was in there alongside his mate, Privates fucking Dexter, fucking whatever from...
Wow.
And they know the names of the two dudes that were in this foxhole. Not only that, they know the names of the Japanese guys that were fucking... Because they've talked to these veterans.
To both sides since.
They're standing on and the foxholes are still there. And the rusty barbed wire is still there on the hill, and it's insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, we did these, and the guy in charge of the guy who was looking after us, he was a captain, and he likes the sound of his own voice. You know.
Yeah.
And so during the day of hanging out with him and stuff, he's right, you know, and I'm just like in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll probably say that. Oh yeah, I could probably say that. Yeah, all right. So I made a few notes about this bloke, and then. So
you're writing your material even on the day.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. You're writing your material fucking till 5 minutes before you go on stage at these gigs.
And I've literally seen you do that.
Yeah. And then, so I'm thinking, all right, this captain, I'll say a few words about him. And then just before the gig starts, maybe 10 minutes before I go on stage, this dude, this little muscly, nuggety little cat just comes up and goes, "Are you the comedian?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Outside with me now, please." And I go, "Yeah, okay." And I follow him out and he goes, "Mate, just to let you know, I'm the fucking brigadier. I'm the guy in charge of this base. And I've had word that I've just picked up on the grapevine that you're going to maybe make a few jokes about the captain." And I said, "Oh, I had a couple of ideas." And then he's just got up on his tippy toes in my face. He's just gone, "You listen to me. If you don't hang at least 10 minutes of shit on that fuckwit, I will drag you back out here and punch the fuck out of you. He is the biggest fucking idiot in the army. He makes my life a fucking nightmare, and I want to see you roast the cunt."
Oh, that's gold. Meanwhile, you're like, I'm just about to lose 10 minutes of material here. I'm going to have to fucking drop that whole part of the gig.
Yeah. And then anyway, so I went in and just, all the jokes that I'd written about him worked a treat, and everyone pissed themselves laughing. And it was a Saturday night. And so on this base, the Australian Army's pretty strict about booze and that. So because there was
make sure you drink plenty of it. No, not in combat. Because
there was a function on, they'd opened the bars.
Yeah.
So they usually only open the bar one night a week, but then they had because you're over there with a band and a couple of musicians and putting a show on for them. And so they'd opened the bar. So everyone was allowed to have 2 drinks, including us. We're like, "Oh, we get to have 2 drinks after the show, you beauty." Right? And then, so I did my spot, hung a bit of shit on this captain, and then he's dragged me back outside afterwards and he goes, "Mate, unlimited drinks for you tonight."
And you're like,
"Yeah, sick, thanks, mate."
Winning.
Yeah, funny.
And you're like, "Well, I'm the fucking comedian. That's actually written into my writer anyway, but whatever. That was another, that happened. I did one in, I did a couple of shows on 2 tours to the Middle East at the air base in Abu Dhabi. That's right, I remember you.
Abu Dhabi. And the first one wasn't allowed to swear.
Right.
Like apparently the general at the time was a hardcore Southern Baptist. So we show up, it's me and 2 musicians, and the Aussie guy looking after us, our liaison, he just said, "Oh, you're the comedian?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Mate, just got to let you know, no swearing." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
He goes, what?
Yeah. "What the fuck are you talking about?" He goes, "Mate, I know, but the general in charge of the base is a hardcore Southern Baptist. He doesn't like cursing. We had a comedian here 6 months ago, and he swore too much, and we haven't had a comedian. You're our first comedian in 6 months, so no swearing."
So you've come along to fuck it all up for him for the next 6 months.
Anyway, so and I'm like, "So you have to open with that." You go, "Oh, g'day, my name's Mick, I'm the comedian." And it's like the Australians are there, but it's a multinational airbase.
Yeah.
Mostly Americans, but other people from other countries and stuff like that. And just like saying, apparently the general doesn't like swearing, so I'm not allowed to swear, and I normally swear a fair bit.
Because he's a con Baptist, he's a fine Southern gentleman.
And then, if you see me go, I'm trying to think of a word that's not a swear word or whatever. Just bear with me.
So if I say fudge a lot during this gig.
But then, I'm 10 minutes in, and the guy looking after us, Robbo, the Lieutenant Colonel Robinson, he was a fucking champion of a bloke, but he comes out on stage and grabs the mic off me and he goes, "Stop swearing." I'm like, "I haven't sworn." He goes, "Yeah, you've said a couple of just in the heat of the moment, I'm talking to a couple of guys that are clearly pilots with their mustaches and all that. Look at these soft cocks over here, and everyone's like, "Yeah, soft cocks, pilots are fucked," all that. And
he said cock.
Just a couple of slip, and then I look over at and Robbo points up at the tech box, and there's this little dude there who'd already warned me. He goes, "Hey, if you swear anything, I'm just going to turn your sound off." And I look up, and he's like just doing the hand across the throat motion at me. I'm like, "Oh, sorry, mate." And then I turn around to 1,000 soldiers and go, "Did I just get chewed out?" And then this bird comes after me after the show, this little American band, little high school sweetheart looking. She was so cute in the camos and all that, It's like, "Bet you were the prom queen." And she's like...
Do you remember her name?
Nah. But she's like, is that...
It was like a Mary Lou.
Is that is that true what you said about not being allowed to swear? I'm like, yeah, 100%, man. I got told I'm not allowed to, the general's I'm not allowed to swear. She goes, that motherfucker, he's such an asshole. This is how we talk in the fucking
Fuck
military.
that sumbitch.
That motherfucker needs to watch Full Metal Jacket. So funny. It's great.
I'd say the best part of you ran down to Cracky Mum's house, ended up around staying on the mattress. I'd say you've been cheated. Shout out to...
shit, you can suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
Shout out to Lee Emery.
Lee Emery, no.
Yeah. Who at the time you just went, fuck me, this guy can act.
Yeah,
God
yeah.
damn. And then you find out, he's actually an
he's a gunnery
ex-US
sergeant,
Marine Corps gunnery sergeant.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, so there was no acting involved. They've just gone, you know what you normally do with new recruits? Could you do that in front of the camera? He's
I
going,
want
sure.
you two turds to clean the head. I want that head so sparkling and squared away the Virgin Mary herself would be proud to take a
Go in
dump
there and take a shit.
Sir, yes, sir. Crazy shit.
You're from Texas? Well, only steers and queers come from Texas.
I didn't know they stack shit that high.
Absolutely brilliant movie for anyone that hasn't seen it. Full Metal Jacket. Put that on your list.
Yeah, so anyway, but that's that thing, you just got to be in the moment. They made us do a fucking battlefield casualty clearance course
Wow, okay.
before we went into Iraq. So
You're like, dude, I'm just here to tell jokes. Like, I'm not going to...
no shit, right? And and full on, with the learning how to use the tourniquets and putting a wounded person on a stretcher and then signalling what's wrong with them to the medic clearing them with just
Here's the
hand
thing.
signals.
If you're relying on me
Dude,
to put your tourniquet on in combat,
that was straight into the routine.
then you're fucked.
Straight
Anyway.
into the routine. As soon as I walked on stage, I was, can you believe these fuckers made me do a battlefield casualty clear? As soon as shit starts, I know what's going to happen. Someone's going to go, you sit the fuck down over there and don't fucking touch anything.
Exactly.
I don't want to know what a fucking tourniquet is.
Yeah.
Jesus. Anyway.
Again, like Full Metal Jacket, you'll be like one of the reporters being pushed to the fucking side.
Yeah.
Just sit down, put your fucking head down.
Don't move. But they let us keep the tourniquets because you've got to carry the tourniquet and the field dressing kit around on your webbing because it's a live base in Iraq, so you have to have
you had webbing and everything.
Yeah, so I've got fucking body armour and have the webbing with the field dressing kit and then the two tourniquets on it. But once the tourniquets come out of their packet, like the field tourniquets, they can't use them again.
Yeah, they're basically vacuum sealed.
Yeah,
so once you open it,
they say, no, not that at all. But once you've taken them to put them on your,
they're no longer hygienic. Yeah.
No, it's not even hygiene. It's just like they don't. Anyway, so they say you can either give them back to us and we use them for training, or you can hang on to them and take them. Like you never know when you might need a tourniquet. Here's the tip: put them in the glove box of your car because in civilian life, that's the time you're most likely ever going to need to put a tourniquet on someone after a car accident. So I've got the tourniquets in the glove box. So as we're driving along, every time you see some P-plater fucking cutting in and out of traffic on the motorway, it's like, get the tourniquets ready, babe. We're on it here. And then my daughter had to do, she nearly finished high school, but they were doing a first aid course. And they had the person teaching it just said, just out of interest, does anyone's parents keep tourniquets in their glove box just in case? And like Keely's like, I was the only one that put my hand up.
Yeah, my dad does when he was touring in the Middle East.
My dad's got some PTSD.
He used to keep one strapped onto his webbing and his combat vest. Oh, was your dad in the army?
Nope.
No, he's a comedian.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the Blues Brothers. Mr. Man!
Anyway, so that's that. But yeah.
Are you gentlemen police? No,
man.
man. We're musicians.
Oh, yeah. I've watched the Blues Brothers for ages.
The single greatest film in the history of filmmaking anywhere, anytime. That's my number one. That's my go-to. If anyone says, what's your favourite film? I've got a few in the top 10. But if you can only pick one favourite film, it's Blues Brothers.
Full Metal Jacket's my favourite film.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Speaking of which, yeah. Oh, look, that's absolutely brilliant. There's very few films that can stack up to that. But, yeah, no, Blues Brothers, my number one.
Yes. So, what else? That's about it, really.
And what about in terms of like comedy festivals and stuff?
What do you mean?
Well, you've done, obviously overseas gigs.
Yeah. No, I've done.
I know Edinburgh's a big one on the comedy.
Times.
Yeah.
That's actually Edinburgh's starting today, I think.
Is it?
Edinburgh Fringe starts today.
Shout out to the folks at Edinburgh Fringe.
Shout out to everyone doing the Edinburgh Fringe today. No, so I did it 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Yep.
And then obviously there was a couple of years off for the old spicy cough, and then went back in 22. But it has, they've had a few dramas. It's just too expensive now. So flights are too expensive for a start. And then, but you can handle that because you just do some gigs over there and stuff like that before the Fringe starts. You can cover your flight.
Yeah.
But no, the accommodations, they've changed. They've changed a few rules, and then just people cashing in on the comedians coming to stay. So like when 2019, Nikki, my partner, and Nikki, we shared a room, and it cost us maybe 400 quid each.
Per night.
No, for the month.
Oh, for the month.
Yeah, shared a room that cost us 400 pounds each for the month.
Yeah, wow.
Or 350 or something like that.
Okay.
700, like cheap as fuck.
Yeah, I was going to say,
When we went over in 22, it cost us $2,000 each. No, $2,000 between us for the month. So that's more than double. And then looking at it in 23, 24 and stuff like that, it's like, people are fucking going over there now and living like fucking backpackers, like 3 people sharing a room together and stuff like that, which is, you can't, I'm a fucking grown up. I don't want to share.
Because again, going back to your early days, like you have to be doing those gigs, especially, well, I suppose any time, but, early on you're trying to make a name and get your name out there and get your face out there.
Yeah. And to a certain extent, it's all it was a profitable experience going ahead. A lot of people go there and lose money, but for me, it's always been a sort of a fairly profitable, and it was good in the timing of it because Edinburgh's now sort of August, and then you'd go over there with
You'll have to stop back at the table. You're going to be driving the poor folks at home watching nuts.
So you go over there and do the month in Edinburgh with your solo show. And then by the time you get back to Australia, that solo show is tight as fuck.
Yeah.
And then ready to go for Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it was good. It was a good planning wise, and you make a bit of money as well. But like Edinburgh's, for some people, Edinburgh's how it used to be about getting found and getting discovered, and there'd be TV people in town.
Yeah, okay.
If you were getting good reviews and getting some buzz, the TV people would come and watch your show.
Wow.
But that don't happen anymore.
You'd have the scouts in the audience.
Well, no gatekeepers anymore, is there? So TV people will come because you've got 1 million TikTok followers.
Yeah.
You make your own fucking TV show.
That's right. Exactly.
You don't need the BBC, or you don't need, people to come and watch your shit.
Yeah.
So from that point of view as well, it's not really worth it.
Whereas back in the day, you'd have to be signed, you'd have to, get a deal. And
And it's a you can do heaps of different ways, but you're just feeding parasites now, in that sense. So the accommodation prices have gone up because people are fucking trying to suck money, being parasitical on this.
Like the music industry.
Yeah, and it's the same as people. You have to pay for PR, you want management, you got to pay for a venue. There's all these parasites that are just making it unaffordable, So you're not actually, whether or not you're achieving what you want as a comedian, you've got all these fucking people.
And, they say that half of success in life is just timing. Like your timing, 2003, couldn't have been perfect because, right around the corner, you've got Twitter, YouTube, leading into all of the social media is starting to kick off. 10 years, 20 years, if you imagine you had started 20 years back before that. I mean, sure, people did it, but, that's a massive game changer, social media for everything, to the point where it's evolved now. And like you say, with the music industry, for actors, for comedians, for, I mean, across so many different industries, not just performers, that ability to go direct to your audience.
Speaking of people directly is good. One of my bugbears is when people do their little bits to camera on the social medias, and they say, "Hey guys, how's it going?" Guys, are people watching these things? Is there a group of them together watching you? You're having a one-on-one conversation direct to your audience. It's not guys. It's hey, you. How are you going? Anyway, that's just a. Hey, what's up, legends?
Looking down the barrel of the camera.
Hey, what's up, legends? What is there a group of legends watching you all at once? Who are you talking to here? Anyway, that's just me.
And what is more than one legend? What's the plural for legend?
What's the collective noun? What's the collective noun for a group of legends?
Far more educated than I am.
A champion of legends?
See, all of that book reading when you were young, all paid off.
A fable of legends. A myth of legends.
A myth of legends.
There we go. That's
Mate, you are the man, the myth, the legend.
That's got to be the collective noun for a. Anyway, if you're watching, if you are watching and listening right now, comment below. What do you think the collective noun is for a group of legends?
There will be a test.
Oh, yeah.
There won't be a prize.
Yeah, it's got to be a myth of legends, doesn't it?
Yeah, that'll do. We'll go with that. That sounds good. Tell us about the Funny Coast comedy, as we can see on your shirt there.
Hey, why would I advertise anyone's business but my own?
And just for anyone watching who doesn't know the Sunny Coast, doesn't know Australia, quite possibly watching from overseas, just explain the little play on words in the name as well.
We're based on the Sunshine Coast, which is often referred to as the Sunny Coast. So we are Funny Coast Comedy. Hey! No, started in 2020 when we moved to the Sunshine Coast by accident during the pandemic. And
was that in the pandemic? Wow.
Yeah, 2020 was right in the guts of it.
Okay.
So our first ever Funny Coast comedy gig was October 2020.
Wow.
So all of the borders were closed.
Yep.
Queensland border was closed, and we could only use local comedians.
Was that planned?
What?
That you did it because of COVID? Like you were going there knowing that lockdown was coming?
We were living on the Sunshine Coast, but then driving to Brisbane, doing gigs in Brisbane, but there was no regular comedy on the Sunshine Coast, and in particular, no sort of regular. There's a couple of theatres on the Sunshine Coast, the Event Centre Caloundra and the J Noosa, but they're 300 to 800 seaters. And, when we're talking about running gigs, we're talking like intimate 100, 150 small little rooms close to the community, proper stand-up gigs.
Yeah.
And so we just started running a gig once a month. And then after a few months, a couple of venues reached out to us and said, we would like to do comedy also. And then 5 years later, we're still running gigs.
And who is the Funny Coast comedy? It's you and your lovely fiancée, Nikki.
Me and the lovely fiancée, Nikki.
Congratulations too.
Hey, thank you. Yes, getting married next year. But so she's a comedian as well. So it's it was sort of originally it was like, well, let's a bit of work for ourselves to make some gigs for ourselves, and then I don't know, people kept reaching out to us and we've seen you do some shows. Would you come and host this, or would you, can you come down and be involved in this event that we've got going on and stuff like that. So anyway,
which again is part of the networking and getting your name out there, and
part of the getting your name there, part of the being sort of based somewhere. We like it on the Sunny Coast. It's a nice place. So so we just keep putting the shows on, which has various degrees of success on it.
People can also keep up with your I guess your second Instagram page,
Funny Coast Comedy. No. Yeah.
Well, okay, then your third one.
Yeah, the Van Life Comedians.
Van Life Comedians.
Yeah, that's once again. That's
we'll make sure we've got the links to everything down in the comments. We'll put it all in the bios. But yeah, people can check that out.
Yeah, so we live in a van by choice. We're not losers.
No.
And
If you are, it's a separate issue altogether.
And it's funny. We always since the housing, because when we first got together, we were talking about what we're going to do with our lives and put a plan together. And one of it was to sort of live in a van and travel around.
Well, you're always on the road.
And yeah, it took a while to put that together, the whole van life comedy.
When you say it's a van, like it's a van, it's pretty swish.
Yeah, it's a van. And we live in it full time with our dog. And
We're not talking about your 1970s Viscount caravan. We're talking about a pretty swish setup.
It's not a Toyota Hiace. It's a high roof, long wheelbase, decked it out ourselves. But so right back early on, not long after when we first got together, we were sort of putting a plan together and then to like live and travel in a van. And we thought that's what we can do. And because then we're thinking about comedy wise, we go, if we've got a month at the Perth Fringe, we've got a month at Adelaide, we've got a month at Melbourne Comedy Festival, and then we drive around and we go and do gigs in Sydney and Brisbane and Melbourne and whatever.
Yeah.
And then it took, I don't know why it didn't click sooner for us, but we're trying to think, how are we going to make money while we're in the van? And then we thought, if we can run Funny Coast Comedy remotely,
Yeah.
then look after the gigs and make sure we keep booking it and marketing and doing all that we have to do to make that operate. Oh, that'll generate an income for us.
Yeah.
And then we just somehow we just out of the blue we thought, what the fuck are we thinking? Like, we're comedians. We can just drive anywhere.
Yes.
We can do a gig anywhere. We can
do a
drive
gig.
to Birdsville.
Yeah.
Do a gig at Birdsville. We can
100%.
drive to Warwick. We can drive to Catherine. We can drive to wherever we are, we can earn,
That's the gig, yeah.
Yeah, and then suddenly we just opened our eyes and just went, oh! So that's where the van life comedian thing came around. So.
Yeah. Still doing writing? Writing?
No. I mean, I'm writing every day with comedy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not writing radio ads or anything like that anymore.
Yeah.
No. Probably I should write a book at some point.
What's his name?
Everyone tells me I should write a book.
Colbert just got the chop.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know they were saying that show was losing $40 million a year.
Right.
Half the reason behind that was they had 100, that's a 1 and 2 zeros, 100 writers writing his jokes behind the scenes.
Yeah. Mad, isn't it? I think, in that sort of in an instance like that, you can still have 100 writers, but you can only pay them if you've got to get jokes on the show. You can't be sitting in a writer's room getting paid for not.
The shows aren't long enough to fit
material
in from 100 writers.
Yeah, and I mean, unless it's a collaborative writing it, where 100 people are sitting around, here's a joke, and they go, here's how to make that joke better. Here's how to, and everyone's pitching in. But I can't see that, not for 100 people.
No.
You've got to, I don't know. Yeah.
And even then, the best people that have done those shows or similar gigs historically are the ones that can fucking think for themselves, think on their feet, and actually say funny shit themselves.
Yeah. And it does make you a little bit, I don't know, I can't think of the word. It is a little disappointing to then watch Letterman or Colbert or Conan O'Brien or whatever, but then be like, that's right, there's 40 guys.
Yeah, exactly.
There's 40 guys putting that shit together for you.
You've sat around a fucking table and you've brainstormed that idea out.
Yeah.
You've done 30 different versions of how to say that one funny thing.
Yeah.
Then you've probably got in a table of people and done it around a circle.
Little
and
table read in front of a practice
you've got
audience.
some fucking feedback from your, what do they call it, your target audience.
Yeah.
As to which one was the most funniest over multiple nights, and then that's the one you fucking run with.
Yeah. We were in America. I was in America on holidays when Letterman did his last show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a big deal. It was a
Fuck
big deal
yeah.
over there, yeah. And then people were saying to us, oh, no, there's no point going out to, there'll be nothing on. No one will be out. It's Letterman's last show.
Yeah. Look, it's kind of a little bit like the James Bond. you relate to whichever James Bond was in your era.
Yeah.
I mean, he first came in, he's just the new fucking Johnny Carson. I was thinking, here's Johnny, and it's like, you'll never be Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
But, made a name for himself. And because I didn't grow up in the Johnny Carson era, I don't know who he is. I've seen his gigs. But, Letterman was the era I grew up in. So he's the one I kind of think of. And then I remember when he was first replaced by Colbert, and I'm like, this guy's just no Letterman.
Yeah.
I'm sure he found his own audience and probably, I don't know, maybe a younger demographic. But I was just like, dude, fucking Letterman.
It's insane the size of the US market, though, when you like, there's Letterman, there's Leno, there's Craig Ferguson, there's...
Craig Ferguson's the best of them all, and like he was the guy that was on after the others.
Yeah.
So it was
late night.
It was probably that bit of a thing of like, I'm like the B comedian, I'm on after them, so I don't have to give a fuck.
Yeah, I can do whatever.
And
I want.
his show was
skeleton smoking a cigar.
Exactly, yeah. His show was the fucking best of them all. He was the fucking funniest of them all.
Yeah.
And as we both know, like flashback to Billy Connolly. No matter how funny the fucking comedian is, with the Scottish fucking accent, it's even funnier.
Yeah.
Like, it's 10% funnier just because of the fucking accent.
That's only in Australia, though.
Yeah, true.
That's only in Australia.
Yeah, it doesn't work in Scotland.
When I first went to England, because of growing up in Australia, where we all have we're all got the same accent. It's just the Australian accent.
There's like two.
It's large.
There's like the Australian accent. Okay, there's three. There's the Australian accent. There's the far north Queensland accent, a little bit slower, a little bit more drawn out, and then there's the Adelaide accent.
Yeah, but
and that's it.
It's largely the same wherever you go.
Yeah, 100%.
In the country, and so because of that, when a comedian with an accent comes here, not so much American, I don't think, but definitely from UK. So if they're Irish, English, Welsh, or Scottish, we're automatically like, have a listen to this funny cunt.
Jamoan. Yeah. He was a classic example.
Billy
You're like,
Connolly.
he's 10% funnier.
Yeah, automatically 10% funnier just with the accent. So when I went to England, I'm thinking, we're on here. I've got my Australian accent. I'm automatically going to be 10% funnier.
I'll speak a little bit slower. I'll drag it out a little bit more. Hey, you going?
Hey, he's going.
How are you?
I'm from Australia. How are you?
Your name's Mick, and I'm from Australia.
Yeah, we're good, mate. Have you going to tell us a joke or what?
Are you going to fucking be funny?
It better be more than this, mate, because it's a shit so far. And then, because
they're like, mate, we've been seeing this shit since Barry McKenzie first came here in the 60s.
If they want to hear an Australian accent, they just go to the pub and ask for a pint. And the Australian
ask for a Foster's. Can I have a Foster's?
Where, if they want to hear a different accent, they go to a village fucking 10 miles down the road. Listen to these weird cunts.
Yeah, exactly. In a country where there's 50, 60 different dialects?
Oh, something like that. Yeah. And so they're flush with accents. They don't need to hearing a new accent's not going to make them.
Nah.
Not going to impress them at all. Anyway.
I must say, though, even growing up and hearing American accents, from comedians, that is, it was always like, someone stands up, you take a look, they look Australian, and then they say, okay, he's American. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's fucking see what they got. Because again, like you say, it's a different market. There's so many people over there that their cream of the crop is like, they've battled through 300 million other people to get to where they are,
Yeah, that's true. You're right to the top of the market over there.
Yeah,
you've got to be good.
Yeah.
And that's probably the point of trying to go over and do gigs overseas in America and England. England's not as big a market.
No.
It's still bigger.
Yeah. Have we had any Australian comedians really kick it in the States?
Jim Jeffries.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
he had his own show over there. Speaking of late night variety shows, remember he had that show
Jim
over
Jeffries
there?
Show, yeah. Jim, I think my skill's doing all right over there. There's got to be a couple more than that. Who's James McCann's doing all right over there at the moment. He just did Rogan the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's funny.
Awesome.
He's what's he doing? He is supporting Shane Gillis.
Ah, yep.
So
he's funny as fuck.
McCann, he headlined our Funny Coast gigs 2 years ago.
Yep.
And,
we know where it's all started from.
Exactly.
Like, we know where he's cut his teeth.
And we were sitting out on our balcony after the second night, that he headlined, and he's funny. Like, and a lot of people said, you got McCann headlining. I'm like, McCann's funny. And then we're sitting out on the veranda playing darts, and then I didn't hear this conversation. Nikki just told me about it the other day. But she said to him, she goes, James, you've got everything it takes to be a fucking great comedian and a great headliner. You've just got to believe in yourself. And now he's on fucking Rogan and he's like supporting Gillis in arena tours, man, playing fucking 50,000 stadiums and shit like that because Nikki told him to believe in himself.
That's where it all started. I just hope he looks back and knows when they say what was the defining moment that fucking changed your career, that started you off.
Got to be when Nikki told me to believe in myself. He's funny. He's funny, James. He's a good lad. He'd never played darts before, and so I was showing him how to play darts, and then he just went and sort of thought his way through it. If I do this, it'll go. And started. And then we had a game of 301. He goes, hey, what's a game we could play? And I go, oh yeah, all right, no worries. And so playing 301, and he got a 110 peg on his first game, and like. Pros rarely get 110 pegs.
Yeah.
He hit a triple 20, and I'm like, oh well, fuck, you just need a 10 and then a double 20, and then he's hit the 10, and I go, mate, if you hit a double 20 now,
you're there.
You've pegged out 110.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, as if
it's not going to happen.
Bang, double 20. I'm like, fucking, this kid is something special.
And you're like, all right, we're not playing fucking darts anymore.
No more darts.
Do you play chess?
Yeah.
You're still on the darts? You're quite the dartsman yourself.
I play when I can.
Yeah.
We'll probably, we're still setting up the van, getting the van squared away, but we'll probably have a little portable dartboard set up in there somehow.
Yeah.
But I'm not playing, just on the road too much.
When you're doing gigs at home, do you have like a home base for funny? I haven't been up there yet. I'm going to have to get up there and see some gigs up on the sunny coast. I haven't got up there.
No, we just live we're in the van. So we were
But I mean, like, do you perform out of the one home base location, or do you have different?
Oh no, we're just gypsy promoters. So to put shows on in other people's venues. And stuff like that.
Yep.
But no, Soul Bar is probably our main. Soul Bar in Maroochydore would be our main venue.
Shout out to Soul Bar.
Shout out to the good folks at Soul Bar. So we have a couple of open mic shows a month, and then one professional show, and then we do a bit of other stuff there, and then the Moffat Beach Brewing, and a few others. We're always looking for more venues. If you're on the sunny coast, you want a comedy show, hit us up. Actually, if you're anywhere in Australia and you want some comedy,
exactly. Doesn't matter where you are.
Comedians.
Or overseas.
Yeah, we're the van life comedians, baby. We go anywhere.
We'll put the links in the comments, but you can go to Mick Nevin, that's neven.com.au. Don't forget the .au.
So McCann's doing well. I mean, Monty Franklin's doing all right
yes.
over there too.
Yeah.
He's been over there for years. So he's doing all right.
Of course, we exported one of our biggest comedians, Eric Bana, but not as a comedian. He had to become an actor.
He didn't make it as Poiter.
No.
Has he been in any movies lately? Is he still acting?
He's got one out. I mean, he did that sequel to The Dry, and there's a new one at the moment. It escapes me, but I'll flash it up on the screen. It'll be here.
Yeah.
The new one he's just got out at the moment. It's a big American one. I can't think what it was.
He was very good in Chopper.
Oh, look, to take nothing away from all the other roles he's done since, that was definitely his best role ever. As an Australian, and he's pretty much become folklore. Even Chopper, the guy he played, said, "You did a better Chopper than I ever did." It's.
Yeah. Neville fucking Bartos.
But seriously.
Yeah. You've gone and made your mum upset.
Look what you've done. Look what you've upset your mother.
Fucking brutal. Yeah,
The word is, you have got some cash for me. Now, it's just a word, but I can pick it up now if you like.
yeah. So good.
I wonder how well it translates. I mean, again, I've heard them talking about Eric Bana being in this movie Chopper on Joe Rogan.
Oh, okay.
But I remember thinking at the time, I wonder if it's a movie, if people watch it, if they're going to get it.
Yeah.
Because we all grew up with, you know, Chopper, who was this kind of celebrity gangster, you know, within his own right. And so we kind of had that frame of reference of knowing, you know, who Chopper was.
Yeah. I used to shoplift his books.
Wow. Okay, that's your claim to fame.
I used to shoplift his books
Yeah.
back when I was a broke-ass uni student. Anyway,
That
that guy.
that mutual friend of ours that we've got, he we won't say his name because in case they're still looking for this bloke, but his mate used to call up from Tassie, and he was actually in witness protection
Oh, yeah.
on the run from Chopper and all the crew.
Yeah.
And he was the guy that back when and they reenacted it in the movie, back when Chopper says to his mate, he says, grab this beer bottle and go and stand up there. And I think he had like a 357 Magnum, and he shot the beer bottle out of his hand. He was the guy that was actually holding the beer bottle.
Yeah.
And
I knew there was a connection there somewhere.
Yeah.
When someone got shot.
he's like, you never guess who just rang me.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, this guy, I don't even know his name, but he's like, this guy such and such. He's like, do you remember seeing him on, what was it? Wasn't 60 Minutes or
60
Current Affair? I think it was a Current Affair.
Yeah.
And he's got the reporter and, you know, he gets his mate to hold out the beer bottle. He goes, he's the guy that held out the beer bottle. And I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. He ended up giving the police a little bit of information, and now he's in witness protection. I'm like, wow.
I did a spot at a Chopper show. Chopper and Mark Jackson.
Wow, I was going to say when they were travelling around together. Yeah, what were they called?
The Wild Colonial Boys.
Wild Colonial Boys. I was going to say because Mark Jacko Jackson was the what were they? The Highwaymen. Remember that show he was in, The Highwayman?
No.
He went to the States and he cracked it over there for a little while, and he was
Jacko did?
Yeah. He was huge over there for a while. It was around the time of the Eveready battery commercials. The oi, you know, and he had
going.
And he went over there. He was in some kind of, it was like Knight Rider, but it was a truck.
Righto.
He was the highwayman, and he was in this like, you know, high-tech truck from the future kind of thing. And he was the highwayman.
That's a great pitch.
Yeah.
Listen, I've got it. Knight Rider, but
in a truck.
It's a truck.
With an Aussie, doing the Aussie accent.
With an Aussie, yeah. With an Aussie truckie. I like it.
And he'd be popping out a lot of, oi, oi.
I remember like, we were in Surfers Paradise one day, and someone just went, "Is that Mark Jackson?" And we look up, and is that Jacko? And then, sure enough, there's Jacko walking down Orchid Ave. We were in one of the bars facing the street, and then someone from another bar's just yelled out, "And he's still going!"
Did he get it?
Just cracked up the whole street. Yeah, it was very funny.
That's like the comedian George Similovich. I was working behind a bar one time, and he's come up to sign in, you know, and he walks in. I go, "What's your name?" He goes, "George Similovich." I said, "Is that George?" Because that was his thing, you know, in his comedy. He goes, "His name's George Similovich. That's for everyone. That's George." And I'm like, "Is that George?" And he's just lost his shit. He just cracked up. He's gone, "Mate, that's 30 years ago. People are still doing that." I'm like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." Well, some of us are old enough that we remember that shit, you know.
That's funny.
George Similovich actually still lives on the Gold Coast.
Does he? He must be fucking old now.
He'd be getting up there. He was a classic. He was a funny bastard.
I don't know. I've never worked with him, never seen him.
No. Did you? I had never seen. I still don't think I've seen live footage of him, but I had the tape. Had his like.
Oh yeah.
His tape back when there was like when it was the old cassette tape.
Yeah.
And oh man, that was funny. He did all of that. Remember, I'm tough. How tough are you? You know, the credit. How tough are you?
Yeah.
I'm so tough. I go to a funeral wearing a Life Be In It t-shirt.
Yeah.
He goes, I remember when I was 5 years old, my dad come in and he goes, son, I'm going to make a man of you. And he goes, I don't want to be a man. I'm a fucking 5-year-old boy. And he goes, son, I want you to begin by making your bed. So he'd give me a hammer and nails and wood. He'd say, make your bed, make your fucking bed. He's like, I want to make my fucking bed. And he had this half. It was funny as he was funny fucker. That's George. Shout out to George Smilovich.
Hello, George.
And the dream, like ideally, would you like to have your own permanent venue? Like I look at what Rogan's done shifting out of LA.
Oh yeah,
during
making Austin
during COVID,
yeah.
Went to Austin. He's now opened the Comedy Mothership.
Yeah, that's
and it is massive.
Yeah, it's mad how quickly it's changed. Like people used to go to America, and they'd either want to go to LA and play the Store and the Improv.
Yep.
Or they want to go to
New York
and play the Cellar.
Yeah.
And work and all that sort of.
Yeah.
No one even goes to New York and LA anymore.
Nah.
They're all just going to Austin.
Yeah. Well, even I've heard Rogan say about how many other comedians shifted to Austin as well.
Yeah.
And then he's also got the contacts that, he has people there all the time, every other night of the week,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and people are lining up down the street to get on Kill Tony and do 3 minutes.
Yeah.
know?
Well, or even a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have that. That's so good to Kill Tony, and get up. And funny thing is, they do a 1 minute gig and then 4 minutes about themselves, which is great. Like giving back, to people just cutting their teeth.
Yeah. A minute's. I don't know. It used to be 5 minutes.
I was going to say, I think a minute's even harder than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because at least I've never done stand up. I'd love to one. That's actually on my bucket list, to do one stand-up gig. I don't want to be a comedian, but just to do one stand-up gig, just to say I've done it.
We've got 2 open mic shows a month. We can fit you.
Yeah, nice, okay. So I'll get a gig up at the Funny Coast Comedy.
We'll fit you on the lineup.
Yeah, nice. You might have to give me some coaching beforehand, though.
Yeah, but it is and it changed overnight.
Yeah.
Pretty much, like the way it, I'm like, what do you do? What are these? And I don't listen to podcasts very much. I'm very, but
Unless it's the Craig Griffin universe.
well, apart from the Craig Griffin universe,
Yeah, fair call.
and the Dollop, but the speed in which it was. I'm like, what's he doing in Austin? And then he's in Austin too. What's going on there? She's in Austin.
Yeah.
And then you think, and then you just the pieces fit. Oh, it's all changed.
Yeah.
Yes. So I've done gigs in New York.
But yeah, like you say, once upon a time, well, it was the same with acting. Pretty much acting, any performers, acting, musos, musicians, comedians, you're in it, either in LA or New York.
Yeah. It's no gatekeepers, is there?
No.
Make your own shit.
Yeah,
Just gotta
exactly.
Make your own shit.
Yeah. Yeah, what's his name played? I've gone blank. Patrick, the guy who was in Terminator.
What's his name played who? What?
He was the Terminator in Terminator 2.
Patrick.
I know the guy. He was the first liquid Terminator.
Yeah.
Someone, Patrick, I've gone blank on his. I was only watching him the other day on Instagram saying about how, the way the industry's changed. Like once upon a time, he was only doing gigs in LA. Now it's very rare to do any acting gigs in LA.
Yep.
It's very rare to actually shoot. And he said, like, I live in LA, so I like working in LA because I go home to my own bed every night.
Yeah.
But he said it's very rare to do any gigs actually, he's in Canada or Georgia or, it's always somewhere else.
Well, everyone wants that film money now, don't they? So they're doing tax dodges and,
yeah.
you can just have the studio for free and all that shit.
Yeah. Well, that's part of what's kept the film industry over here going is just the massive incentives that we offer for them to come over here and,
Yeah, get those Americans in.
Yeah.
How's your American accent?
Mate, awesome. Because if you don't have one, you're not gonna work. And again, that was like never as true in COVID. You know, so many shows were being shot over here because we're one of the few places you could still actually work. Yeah. I remember Shauno had that gig on Young Rock.
Did he?
He was working with The Rock, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Shout out to Shauno, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the Young Rock. I auditioned for a couple of bits in the Young Rock.
Okay.
Didn't get them.
My audition claim to fame was for the Elvis movie, Tom Hanks's film, playing one of the mafia guys in the casino.
Yep.
But apparently I wasn't gangster enough.
Not gangster enough.
No.
Was he? Have you watched it?
Yeah.
Did you see the guy who got the part?
Yes.
Was he gangster enough?
Yeah, I could have done a better job. I'm biased.
That's the funniest bit about watching when you get your audition and you think, no, I'm not right for this part, and then you see whatever it is come on, whether it's an ad or a TV show or a movie, and then it's someone just the complete opposite of you, and you're like, I knew it. Why did you even send me that shit? You know,
I had I had
the casting director doesn't know what they want.
No,
so I was like, let's see who's out there.
Yeah. I had an audition when Pirates of the Caribbean was shooting here, and it was to be what's his name, Jeffrey Rush.
Oh,
it was to be Jeffrey Rush's stand-in.
Yeah, right.
And it got down to me and three others. There was four of us. So we go up to Warner Brothers Movie World, or the Warner Brothers studio next to Movie World there on the Gold Coast, and we had to rock up. It was down to the last four of us, you know. And I get there and there's me and two other blokes there, and we're waiting around to go in. The fourth bloke rocks up. He's fucking Jeffrey Rush's twin. I'm like, oh, fuck. Well, I might as well go. There goes that fucking gig. He got it, of course. You know, it was like his fucking twin. He was exactly the same height, exactly the same build.
Oh, man, I would not want to be a stand-in, I don't think. Good experience.
Yeah, well, that's it. I'd only just started out. Yeah. So I was, to get on a gig like Pirates of the Caribbean, I was stoked.
Good experience and good coin and stuff like that. But, man, when you watch stand-ins at work, if you're doing extra work or whatever,
brutal.
They're just standing there. It's like, fuck,
yeah.
This sucks, can you put your arm back up? Thank you. No, just keep it there. A bit longer. No, a bit longer. Just hang on. How's this light? I think it needs to brighten up a bit. Put your arm back up, please.
Okay, we're all going to have to stop for lunch. If you could just stand in that exact position for the next hour, we're going to have someone bring you a plate of food. Yeah. Don't fucking move.
But, anyway, it's a good experience when you want to learn how a film set works and all the shit that goes on.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, quick break.
Let's take a break.
Let's do it. And we're back. All freshed, all refreshed. Again, thanks to Bundaberg Creaming Soda.
Australian family owned.
It is. It's the goods. More famous in Australia for their rum.
Well, they don't make the rum. They're a different one.
Bundaberg, same company, Bundaberg Rum. Bundaberg Rum, it's the same.
And Bundaberg Rum
same company.
Are they?
Yeah. Come on, Mick. Catch up.
Right. Can I look that up?
You can look that up. I suggest you do it now. Look it up, Jamie.
Is Bundaberg...
We can't afford to have someone to look up our stuff online, so we're just going to have to look up our own.
Ginger...
Yeah, no, it's the same company. Bundaberg Rum and Bundaberg Soft Drinks. It's all made in the same place.
Is Bundaberg Ginger Beer and Bundaberg Rum the same company? No.
What?
No. Bundaberg Ginger Beer and Bundaberg Rum are not the same company. They are separate entities that have recently collaborated on a new alcoholic ginger beer product.
Wow.
Bundaberg Ginger Beer is made by Bundaberg Brewed Drinks, a family-owned Australian company that focuses on soft drinks, while Bundaberg Rum is owned by Diageo. Not even Australian rum anymore. Well, you can shove your fucking Bundaberg Rum up your ass, mate. They've sold out.
Wow.
No more.
Gone the way of the Akubra.
Gone the way of
the fucking Blunston.
The Fosters. The Harm.
The Blunston Boot.
The CUB. The VB. Oh, wow. The Tuies.
Unbelievable. So where's it made now? Bundaberg Rum.
probably still in Bundaberg, but it's owned by Diageo.
Who are they?
Like a multinational drinks corporation, I believe.
Wow. I always assumed that Bundaberg Soft Drinks and Bundaberg Rum were the same company. There you go.
Yeah. No.
I bow down to your infinite trivia, wisdom and knowledge.
Queen. Diageo is a British multinational alcoholic beverage company headquartered in London, England.
Wow.
Have a fucking Bundaberg rum,
Have
governor.
a fucking Bundy. Get it fucking in ya.
I'll give you a fucking slap, mate.
You're taking a piss? Yeah. They are taking our piss. They're taking our piss offshore. Wow.
I'll do a bit about that tonight. Yeah, I just found out Bundaberg rum's owned by the British.
And I'd just like to officially say a big fuck you to Bundaberg Rum.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're asking for a fucking slap, governor.
Jesus. Remember the kick up when they sold Vegemite?
Yes. Kraft. Yeah.
But it's come back.
It's come back.
Yeah, yeah.
Who else did they? Oh, everything gets sold.
I was going to say, what hasn't?
Everything gets sold. Is R.M. Williams got sold?
No.
Oh, no.
Still Australian owned and Australian made, R.M. Williams.
Andrew Forrest bought them back, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. Nice.
Put them back under the Australian umbrella.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway.
Breaks your heart, though, when you see these Australian, like they're more than just brands, they're icons.
This is there's a, when you hang out, I tend to drink craft beer. And part of the reason is I like the fact that it's independently, generally speaking, independently owned and brewed in Australia, and it's locally owned and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
And then you get these, you don't want to use the term bogans or whatever. We're all just people, but people like craft beers for fucking poofters, mate.
Oh, you mean like bogans?
Yeah. You drink that craft. You got enough fruit with your beer, mate? I'm like, what are you drinking? Han? Oh, you're fucking putting some money into the pockets of the Japanese, are you, mate? Enjoy your Japanese cat's piss, mate. Fucking idiots. Anyway, it's all owned by I think it's like Coopers is owned, still family owned.
Mm-hmm. Yep. South Australia.
Coopers is still family owned, and then that's pretty much it.
And then you've got all of the more boutique sort of beer companies that have all started up. Your Stone and Wood.
Stone and Wood's owned.
What was the one at Byron? The five mates, was it?
No, Stone and Wood is the Byron.
Yeah, there's another one too. I think it's called Five Mates.
Is that the Byron Bay Lager?
Five friends or five mates. It was five blokes just got together, and I think they ended up selling it. I think to one of the bigger breweries.
Bolters sold out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the business.
But even just around here, we've got Husk Brewery. There's a few of them that are not too far from here that are all brewing their own.
Yeah, and it's the business model for a craft brewery is start up, get big enough that you attract the attention of a multinational such as Kirin or... So
you start up, you market it to the fact that we're a family-owned company.
Yeah.
And then you sell it off to some multinational.
For $100 million and double your money. What's the Sapporo? Asahi. When I went to Japan, Asahi and Kirin are the two big Japanese ones that own most of the Australian stuff. The Asahi headquarters is like a beer, so it's like gold, but then with a white frothy top on it. The building,
Yeah.
So I was walking along the river in Tokyo, and I look up at this building. I'm like, that's a pretty distinctive building. And then hit the Google Maps. It's Asahi headquarters in the shape of a beer.
Right.
The Japanese, they're so clever.
Who was doing ads for them? Was it Hugh Jackman or... I think it was Hugh Jackman, one of the big Aussies, was doing some...
Yeah, because heaps of Australian celebrities go and do Japanese ads and stuff.
Yeah.
You never hear about it.
No. And he did that one for Lipton iced tea. Remember that? Oh, brilliant clip. Everyone, have a look. Google Hugh Jackman Lipton iced tea ad. And it was... What did they pay him? It's like $1 million or $50 million or something like right up there. Yeah. And he's basically dancing around this whole, because he's a dancer, singer, actor, singer, all rounder. And he does this whole thing where he's like dancing through this building and through the water, and you know, it was all choreographed. It was awesome, man. It was really, really cool. Yeah.
Hey, there you go. How did we get onto that? Oh, Bundaberg. I can't believe Bundaberg's owned by the English of all the fucking people.
What the actual fuck?
Yeah, anyway.
Wow. And again, like, not just a brand, like, that was iconic.
Iconic. The Bundy Bear.
Oh.
The Bundy Bear.
Some of the best commercials made too, the Bundaberg Bear ads. Wow. They were right up there with the Coca-Cola Polar Bear ads.
We're not just podcasting, Craig. We are learning.
We are learning as we go, and shattering illusions as we go.
I know.
I would have bet the farm that Bundaberg soft drinks and Bundaberg rum were the same company.
Yeah, I knew they were. I knew they were different.
Wow.
For some reason, I knew, but also I didn't know that. I thought Bundaberg might have still been independent.
Yeah.
But
Wow. I'll tell you one of the other great fucking
apparently, it's a great tour.
At the Rum Factory.
The Bundy Rum Factory.
Ah.
Yeah, I've not been on it, but
Okay.
my old man went up and did it.
Yeah, I know someone used to work up there. They used to do the night shift up there in the brewery.
Yeah.
Because it ran 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of that British rum.
Yeah. Love to fucking rum, innit?
Yeah, man, he got a bottle made up, like with his name on it and stuff like that. And it's
On the tour.
Yeah, when I die,
Right.
that's for you boys to drink.
Yeah. And of course, we had the Cadbury Chocolate Factory down there in Tasmania. There was another tour you could do.
I was doing a gig in there's a Cadbury Chocolate Factory in Ringwood, way out near Ringwood, East Melbourne.
Yep.
And I was doing a gig at a footy club there.
Okay.
And there's a table of ladies, and they all worked at the chocolate factory together.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, well, that must be cool. What's that like? What's that like working at the chocolate factory together? And they're like, oh, it's pretty good, you know, they're good hours. And we get as much chocolate as we can eat. I'm like, are you serious? And they're like, yeah, we fucking, as much chocolate as you can eat. I'm like, well, obviously that's I guess that's a good thing, because if they let you eat all the chocolate you want, eventually you're going to get sick of eating chocolate and you're going to eat fuck all chocolate.
Yeah.
And they went, yeah, that's pretty much what happens.
It's like going to the fucking Willy Wonka
And I
chocolate
said,
factory.
Except when all your periods sync up. So for 2 days a month, they're like, where's all the fucking chocolate?
No. And you dropped that out on stage.
Yeah. That came out in the moment.
They're all pissing themselves laughing.
Someone's on the production line, the boss is up and looking at the figures, going, we've made no chocolate. God, it's the 28th. No wonder.
How come all the chocolate's missing and we've had no staff for 2 days? What's going on there?
Don't go down on the floor. Those bitches are angry, man.
Oh, that's classy. Wow. The old Australian brands. There you go. You heard it first here.
Classic. What else?
I think 4 and 20 pies went the same.
Someone probably owns them.
Didn't they end up getting sold off, I think?
Would have.
Maybe not. I could be wrong, but no, I had a feeling that it was the classic Australian meat pie, 4 and 20. Obviously named after a British nursery rhyme, so we kind of did the reverse there. We stole the name from a British nursery rhyme.
What's the nursery rhyme?
4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie.
Oh, is that where it comes from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I better check that.
Because remember...
You were way off base.
Well, might want to Google that shit. I'm sure they used to have that in the logo. They had the
birds flying out of the...
Yeah, they had like...
4 and 20.
Yeah. They had the blackbirds flying out of the pie.
Yes. I mean, they're all right as far as pies go.
Yeah.
What else? What's another classic Australian? Coon's gone. Coon cheese. No more coon cheese.
No longer politically correct.
Some people are absolutely fuming about that.
Yeah. Despite being named after... It was the family name was Coon.
Was it? No, it wasn't the family name. Cooning is the process of a cheese-making process.
Well, again, you're going to have to Google this, but I'm sure it was named after the family name, because I believe it was either his dad or his grandfather had. You Google that shit.
The one when it all came out, it was like, so it was a cheese-making process patented by Edward Coon in the States.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah. Why?
What is it now?
Cheese get its name? Cheer.
Cheer. What the fuck?
How did Coon... I mean...
Why wasn't it named after the great Australian cricketer Boone? They could have just changed it to Boone.
Yeah. How did
I mean,
Coon
Goon was already
get its name?
taken.
There we go. The cheese got its original name from American pioneering cheesemaker Edward William Coon, who patented a ripening process in the 1920s.
There you go.
There you go. Coon is also a derogatory racial... It is? I know. Anyway, all the people who...
Well, in that case, if it wasn't the founder's name or that, well, fair enough. Get rid of it.
Hang on, here's something from the ABC. Cheese name was a racist joke. Coon, he said it had racist connotations, but has always been a racist joke. Coon's owners, dairy products company Saputo, confirmed the change Friday. There we go. Anyway. I mean, there's no effect on me or you, but that's because we've never been called that name
Yeah.
in an offensive, and then you walk in and you see it in the shop,
Yeah.
A little bit of empathy goes a long way.
Yeah, fair call. I always thought it was the family name. I thought it was the family. I thought there was something came out around the time that it was the family name, and they'd agreed to change it because they didn't sort of feel a tie to the name or something, even though it was the...
No, well, this is the...
It was probably one of those urban myths. How many fucking urban myths are there getting around that one person says, especially pre-internet?
You think you and I are the same age. You're a couple of years older than me, right? So we grew up in a time when using those slurs was just part of general society, pretty much.
As my mate Rick says, ever since the internet, there's no more wondering. Because you go, oh, well, hang on, we'll look it up. Back then, you'd go, I wonder if...
Back in 1920, you can't tell me that they came up... They said, oh, no, let's just make it after the cheese-making process. That's why we call it Coon.
Yeah.
And guess what?
You'd like to think not.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
How racist, racist against Indigenous Australians would it have been in 1920?
Yeah.
They were still massacring them in the Northern Territory in 1920.
Yeah.
As if it wasn't deliberately chosen
Yeah. Well, I'd like to see the better side of human nature and go, hopefully it wasn't.
It was.
But if it was...
That was just the
shame
time.
on you
that
people.
was just the times. Anyway. Anyway, I didn't know any better. Everyone was doing it.
Yeah. I remember hearing that, the Phil Collins song, In the Air at Night, and the old urban myth went around back in the day that, Phil Collins as a kid was being babysat, and this guy had watched this other kid there drowning in a pool, because that's the lyric in the song. If I saw you drowning, I would not lend a hand. And this guy let him drown. And all these years later, Phil Collins went off and wrote a song about it. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's fucking... Someone to tell you. So that was it. It was urban myth. It was true. Yeah. And then I remember him being interviewed once years later, and someone asked him exactly that. He's like, no, that's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Wow, really? But again, like pre-internet, you just, unless you went to your Encyclopedia Britannica, not that anyone could afford that, because they were like 12 grand or something, so you had to check out your Funkin' Wagnalls.
Had to go to the library.
Yeah.
Had to go to the library and look stuff up.
And by that stage, it was the moment had passed.
Out of date, yeah.
Whereas now you're just like, yep, no, fucking look it up. No, Mick,
go.
Bundaberg soft drink and Bundaberg rum are the same fucking company.
I would have been in the van with Nicky going, it's cool, babe, we can keep drinking Bundaberg rum because it's owned by the Bundaberg soft drink company and they're Australian family owned.
No. And she'd be like, well, being English, I can tell you. No, it ain't.
I remember when we bought Bundaberg rum.
We own that shit.
You want a fucking slap, mate?
You want to fucking go? I'll go.
Anyway.
Tell us the story about you and Nikki. Where'd you guys meet?
We met backstage at a gig at the Adelaide Fringe.
Wow.
At the Fat Cave. So she was in a double act called the Cagoules.
The Cagoules?
The Cagoules.
Okay.
And silent physical theatre.
Wow. That's got to be a tough niche.
Silent physical theatre. very energetic, and lots of music and.
So kind of like the Umbilical Brothers, but they were girls and
clowning.
it was silent.
A lot of clowning, silent physical theatre clowning. Silent physical clowning. And so I was backstage at the Fat Cave hanging out. Fat Cave's a legendary Adelaide Fringe late night show on the weekends, Friday and Saturday night. Usually starts about 11:30, and it's just a kind of, when you finish whatever gigs you're doing at the Adelaide Fringe, it's often a place that comedians will go and hang out. And even if you're not on the show,
Mate, comedians are always on. What are you talking about?
You'll go and hang out. And then the host of the Fat Cave, Mickey D, said to me, he goes, "Oh, this next act, you're going to want to watch these next acts. Great, you'll want to have a look." And so I sort of poked my head out from behind the stage, watched probably the first 10 seconds, and was like, "Fuck!" And then I just ran around into the audience and watched it from the audience. And then I was booking a show, the early show in Melbourne, which is a line-up show.
Yep.
And I was like, "Wow, these guys are great!" And then talked to them after the show. I was like, "Do you do 7-minute spots? Because I want to book you. I want to book you for my early show." And then so booked him for the early show for a pretty.
Which was really just a pickup line, right?
No, not
I want to book you for a gig.
Not at all. No, it's just purely professional.
Yeah.
Purely professional. You see that book, using, "I want to book you for a gig," and then hitting onto the, the people that you're booking for your gig. That went out about 2 or 3 years before. This was post Me Too.
Right,
So,
okay.
You did just have to book
So you'd already phased that out of your repertoire long before that.
I wasn't Me Too and Chicks in 2016.
I was not even there.
Don't worry about that.
I was not even there, man.
Yeah, that was post Me Too. I don't know, when was Me Too? Anyway, and so then we just sort of hung out and then became friends from there.
Nice.
Nice. It's good being with a comedian.
How is that dynamic? I am curious how it works when there's 2 actors or 2 musicians or 2 comedians in a relationship. It's good. It's good. It's good in that sense. If you're a comedian and you're with someone who's not a comedian, you spend a lot of time apart because the person who's not a comedian tends to have a regular job. Yeah.
And
you're off doing your gigs.
At home doing and especially in Australia, it's hard to make a living as a comedian and sleep in the same bed every night.
Yeah. That's why you have to do the Eric Bana thing and become an actor.
Yeah. Well, I don't know Eric Bana's thing, but
it's my schoolmate. Remember we went to school together, man, Eric Bana?
Yeah, Eric.
Yeah.
So from that sense, it's good because we travel together and stuff like that, so we don't have to spend all that time apart.
Yeah.
It's good in a material sense, like you can have an idea for a gig, an idea for a joke, and you can share it and workshop it. And we've both we've got different styles. Well.
I was going to say, and she is a brilliant comedian in her own right, but your styles are both miles apart. You're both very, very different.
Yeah, and it's also different in the sense, when you're, from a lineup point of view, you want to have diversity in your life. You don't want it to be all dudes.
Yeah.
You want it to be all. So it's good in that sense, but also it's just good to have that different style about it because we're often on together.
Yeah, well, that's right, exactly. I was going to say you end up doing the same gigs.
Yeah. So in that sense, it's good.
You might be emceeing for her, or she's emceeing for you, and
yeah, we can both fill any spot in the lineup.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so it's good. Yeah, so and it's good for promoters. To book a couple, because you only need to pay for one room.
Yeah,
if you're doing accommodation and for people, you can get them over and just it's only going to cost me one room. These guys are a bargain.
Because you've got your $500,000 Winnebago, you don't even have to pay for airfare. It's just like, don't worry, fucking van life comedians.
We'll drive over.
We're fucking driving.
We'll drive over. Yes.
Gold.
So that's good.
Yeah, awesome. Way cool. How long's Nikki been doing it?
13 years.
Okay, cool. Not quite the veteran.
Very much the junior partner.
You're like the Johnny Cash to her Carter.
I don't know. On the Johnny Cash movie, wasn't he like in the movie? He was listening to him and his brother were in bed together, and June Carter Cash was part of the Cash family or something, performing.
Ah, okay.
She was a child
Before he was gigging.
Before he was gigging, yeah.
Wow.
And he was like, he said to his brother, I'm going to marry her. I mean, obviously fantasized a little bit for the movie or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure he would have, if it was in the movie, he would have said at some point that he was listening to June Carter Cash on the radio. And
Yeah.
said he wanted to marry her, so.
There's been some classic examples of that, though, where somebody has seen someone on stage or in a movie, or heard them on the radio, and they're like,
That's the one for me, yeah. And then you just stalk them till
I'm going to marry that guy or girl.
Yeah.
And then next minute,
Who's the that's how people. The few comedians that do it, they took that old story of sort of this material where they're like, some old so how did you see an old couple in there, they're 80 odd, how did you two meet? Well, she didn't like me much at first, but I persisted. I just waited around her front gate every day for 2.5 years until she finally agreed to date me.
This was pre-stalking legislation.
Yeah, pre-stalking, pre-Me Too, pre-everything.
Pre-internet, pre-everything.
Yeah. I got together 400 sheep and gave them to her father, and she was mine.
Well, we had neighbouring farms. Our parents were pastoralists.
Yeah.
That's classic. Oh my, how the world's changed, Mick.
The world's changed, not for the better.
In some ways, yeah. In some ways, no.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Adapt or die. We positively embrace change.
But have we?
I don't know. That was the sign on the wall when I started writing radio ads at CFM on the Gold Coast.
Okay.
We positively embrace change.
Yeah, right.
Which is a
Back before CFM became part of...
which is a management way of saying, we're going to fuck you and you're going to enjoy it.
And you will adapt.
Yeah.
Or your job and your income will die.
We're going to fuck you and you're going to smile while we do it.
Smile away, boys. Smile away. You were writing for CFM for a while?
I wrote radio ads for a while, yeah.
Yeah. I think that was your early days of writing, wasn't it?
So I just started because Kurt Vonnegut, my favourite author, was he was a copywriter. So that's someone has to write this shit. Someone writes radio ads. Someone writes those ads in magazines, and someone writes,
And someone writes all the Colbert's shit jokes.
Most people don't even know that's a job. And I only knew it was a job because of Kurt Vonnegut.
Yeah.
And then I can't even remember how it happened, but I just got in touch. I just got in touch with the radio station and said, do you have someone there that writes radio ads? And they said, yeah, I just put you in touch with our creative director. And I was like, I wasn't quite ready for that.
But I'll make something up on the spot.
And then, because I'd finished the drama course at uni, so I was trying to do acting. And then, acting and... I hadn't started comedy at that point. And then, so I was doing the acting and then, but they kept making me do these work for the dole courses because I was on the dole. And then they kept making me do either apply for hospitality jobs or labouring jobs because that was the experience that I had.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to do hospitality and I don't want to do labouring.
Yeah.
Like I've done those jobs and I don't want to do those jobs. And that's where your experience
Then they're
is.
like, son, you're going to have to become a comedian.
And then next to me, there's this guy who's just on the phone. When mobile phones would just come out, and this guy had one, and he's like, yeah, I'm on a...
Would have been a big brick phone.
Yeah.
It would have been like 2 hands.
He's just answering it in class and just going, yeah, I'm on a work for the dole course, so you'll have to meet me in the Broadwater car park at 12. That's when lunch is. Phone would ring again. He goes, yeah, I'm on a work for the dole course, so you'll have to meet me in the Broadwater car park at 10 past 12. That's when lunch is. Yeah, I'm on a work for the dole... Like, openly drug dealing while he's on this work for the dole course.
Wow.
And because I've got work experience, so these, that work for the dole, that training thing where they get more money if they get people, so they're giving me a hard time. Well, this fuck next to me and I'm like, no, fuck you. If you're gonna make, all right, fine, I'm gonna look for a job that I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm not doing hospitality. I'm not doing construction.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up. So I rang the radio station. I'm like, yeah, did someone write your ads? How do your ads get written? And then end up speaking to Pete Maiden, who's the creative director, and he just asked me a few questions. He's like, what are you doing? Can you write? Tell me a bit. And I'd done a couple of degrees and shit. I'm like, I don't know how to write.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. And he goes, come in, we'll get you to write a few
Mate, I've been to uni. I can write.
Yeah.
Fucking sentences, words, whatever you like.
He just said, come in and write a few ads, and we'll, see if you've got what it takes. So I went in. I did like maybe 4 days.
So they were like, sell me this pen.
Yeah. I think the first ad that I wrote was an ad for Sovereign Pools.
Okay.
And then, so he just gave me the brief, the creative brief, and then he goes, and you get on, you can look up what their past ads were, and it was Sovereign Pools, so they had like a king going, when I enjoy my summer holidays, I like to swim in a sovereign pool. And he goes, so that's, and there was a queen going, my husband and I,
Wow.
That was their ads. And he goes, so obviously they've got a bit of a theme there. So, just write me 30 seconds, and here's a stopwatch, just time it to make sure it fits to 30 seconds. And, just give me a yell when you're...
Are they still around, Sovereign Pools?
There's a Townsville-based business because it's a radio network. So, so it's an ad for a Townsville. Anyway, we could Google it. So I wrote...
I was going to say, Sovereign Pools, if you're still around, Mick Nevin is available.
So I wrote it as... before I cannonball into the water, I just want to make it clear that I never had any kind of relations with that woman. And then a splash, and it's Sovereign Pool, so it's obviously the Bill Clinton thing.
Wow.
And that made it to air, man. Like, that was the first ad I ever wrote, and then, just gave me... And then... After, I think, 4 days, the creative director said, no point coming in anymore. We know you've got what it takes. When one of these blokes has a holiday, I'll get you to come in and fill in.
You've hit the ground running. You've shat on Bill Clinton. You're fucking hired.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Turns out, he actually did.
Turns out he had a fuckload of sexual relations with that woman. And a few on Epstein's plane.
I saw a picture the other day on Facebook or Instagram, and it's a picture of Bill Clinton sitting at his desk. And it says, some people are old enough to realise there's 2 people in this picture. Classic.
Oh. Anyway, so then that just turned into a job writing radio ads. And then that turned into a job doing breakfast radio. And then when I got made redundant from being on air, I went back to writing radio ads while I was doing comedy.
Mm-hmm. And then you were writing material for breakfast radio guys.
I was writing jokes for the Moon Man show on Triple M Sydney,
Yeah, very cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was good writing discipline, having to sit down and write a couple of pages of jokes 5 days a week, based on...
So anyone that thinks the Moon Man was funny, you're the reason why.
Hey, come on now.
Mick was doing the job of 100 Colbert writers.
100 Colbert writers, that's right. For a fucking fraction of the price.
That's like the Australian-American currency conversion rate. It's like there's one Mick Nevin for every 100 Colbert writers.
Yeah. Yes.
Only the bonus is at the end of the day, you won't be losing $40 million every fucking year when Mick writes for you.
Hard to believe. Hard to believe that a show can lose that sort of money and just still keep going. Do they not have advertisers? Are people not fucking...
Mate, it's network
sponsoring
radio.
the show?
No one's advertised on network television. No one's advertised on network television.
Yeah. No, that was good. And it was good. It was like, you know, you can just do it from anywhere. Whereas I was at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Getting home at 3 o'clock in the morning, half pissed, writing out a couple of pages of notes for that.
That's when all your best material came.
I'd be having a pint at a pub and be like, oh, fuck, I've got to get home and write jokes for the Moon Man show, you know? Yeah.
You're like, but thanks for spending the last 3 hours on the piss with me, because now I've got some awesome material.
Yeah. Oh, I've got to write a joke about this. Has anyone got any ideas? No, that was good. That was good fun.
I remember you penned out that movie script at one stage too.
Yeah,
That
I did
was
write
awesome.
A movie script.
I've still got a copy of it somewhere kicking around.
Yeah, 12 weeks in Witching Proof.
Yeah.
It's the hardest. It's fucking easy enough to write a movie script. The hardest thing is getting someone to read it.
Yeah.
Who's anywhere within fucking shouting distance of a movie camera. you
Yeah,
know?
100%.
It's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like...
Again, gatekeepers. You
Yeah,
got to going
yeah,
through
yeah.
literary agents. And
Yeah, literally, and it's like you can't, you know, just so many. You can't get a. You can't. No one's going to read your script unless you've had a script produced,
Yes, yeah.
and you can't get.
Can't get
script
experience
produced.
without a job, and you can't get a job without experience.
Yeah. It's just a whole lot of, and you could knock on 1,000 doors, and you just get that 1,000 times back, mate. Because obviously people, and I'm not saying my script's brilliant or anything like that, but better than some of the fucking shit I've seen.
100%. Like 100%. You know? Because again, all they want to do is pump out the safe bet.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, you know.
You know, they want to make trend.
I mean, you could just make it yourself, but it's kind of in that. If I was going to then do that, then if you want to make a movie, I wouldn't have written that script if it was a movie I just want to make myself, because it's obviously the scope's a little bit too big. It needs a whole town to get a facelift and be repainted and reinvigorated, you know.
Yeah.
So if I was going to, it's what they did with the castle, you know, because Working Dog wrote The Dish first.
100%, yeah.
And then they're like, we can't give you the money that you're asking for to make The Dish when you've never fucking made a movie before.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're DJ.
We're the Late Show. We're the fucking D
You
generation.
think we can't make a fucking movie? Just give us the money. And then they're like, no. And then they wrote The Castle, which was a fucking so much more successful. Like, The Dish was a great film.
Yeah, yeah.
It's no castle.
No. Even though it was about the moon landing and Australia's vital role in it.
Yeah.
But yeah. There's only one
A
castle.
little untold story.
But also the secret to their success was the fact that they were writing their own shit, producing their own shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Write the theme tune, play this theme tune, sing the lead part.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, you'd have Santo Chilaro on the camera, you know. Tom Gleisner was normally the director, and, you know, they were doing it all themselves. I've spoken about them before, you know, like I was always a massive fan of Mick Malloy, like of all the D generation, but Mick Malloy growing up, and then seeing them successfully jump from one thing into the next, you know, they jumped out of that. And then like the Late Show in the 90s, that was absolutely brilliant. Like there was nothing else like it, you know.
And that was a different time as well, like, because, you know, back then we lived our lives around TV shows to a certain, like if there was a good TV show on, you just stayed home and watched it.
Yeah.
You couldn't.
Well, there was only 3 other channels to choose from, so
you could, and there was a real cultural thing around when a good TV, you know, like even Hey Hey It's Saturday in its peak.
Oh yeah.
Like whole families used to just be
100%.
and then you'd be like, did you see Red Faces? Oh man, it was so fucking, you know.
Seen it. I was on it.
Yeah. That guy, man, he was so funny because everyone watched it, it became a cultural touch point now.
Yeah.
The show's got to be so fucking good now
Yes.
to achieve that kind of, and you know, hardly anything's done it since Breaking Bad, really. Like,
No.
like it's got to be so good.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what the word is, but broad and.
But even then, like, TV is what movies used to be. Like, television's now where all the fucking money is.
Yeah.
That's where all the best writers are. That's where all the money is. That's where most of the best productions are coming out from.
Yeah, the movie. I mean, how much longer have movie cinemas got?
Yeah. To be honest, I'm amazed that they've lasted this long.
Yeah.
You know, I thought they would have gone the way of the drive-in a long time ago.
Yeah, like look at the size. How big's your TV? Fucking 180 centimetres, is it? You're doing all
Yeah,
right,
something
bro.
like that. Yeah. Mate, you spend a lot of time in front of it. You could have a half-decent telly. Shout out to the good folks at Sony with their Bravias if they're looking to send one someone's way. Sony Bravia, my choice for television.
You wouldn't watch anything else.
Sony Bravia, because I had the vision.
I swear I never had relations with that Sony Bravia. Now watch this bomb dive.
Well, they've done better than the Sovereign Television Company. That's for the Sovereign Televisions.
Yes. When did Anchorman come out?
Early 2000s?
Maybe.
Probably about when you were starting comedy, actually.
Something like that.
Google that shit.
Yeah, I watched it with my my daughter the other night. She hadn't watched it, 17. And she's watching it going, this is the dumbest shit.
You're like, now when I was a boy, that was funny.
That's right, mate. It's exactly. This is not supposed to be challenging your intellect in any way. It's just dumb shit, which is why it's great.
And did you give her your speech about times were different back then? Laughing hadn't been invented yet.
No, she had a good laugh at it. Once she realised, oh, it's just dumb shit, I get it.
Yeah.
Lighten up, you fucking idiot.
But I mean, you know, you're still going to have your lowbrow comedy films.
Yeah. No, there's no getting around it.
And that's pretty much his...
Is that fucking... I'm out of the loop. Fucking... what's the movie with Adam Sandler, the golf one?
Oh, yeah.
Number 2.
Yep.
Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah, it just come out. Yeah.
I had no idea.
There's been a bit of a resurgence, actually, of all of those films that, you know, came out in the 80s where they're like, hey, do you want to make a fucking, you know... We just had Beverly Hills Cop.
Here's a cash grab for you.
How about one for the road?
Yeah. Eddie Murphy must be 80 by now, is he?
He'd be up there. I think we looked it up. I think he's in his... I think he's like 69 or
right.
71 or... He's up there.
Beverly Hills Cop.
One of the funniest men that ever walked the planet.
What a movie.
Like, to your point, flicked on the tally only about 3 weeks ago... Beverly Hills Cop it had just started, you know, and I'm like, I love the opening scene, you know, he's standing in the back of the, speaking of Lucky Strike, jumping back to what we said earlier, he's in the back of the cigarette truck, and I'm like, I've just got to watch the opening scene, you know, and I'm like, that's it had me in, sat down and watched the whole thing all the way through. It's just, and even till today, if you can watch a film 30 or 40 years later, and it's still good. It still, you know, stands up to the test of time. Like, you know, that's a fucking film.
Yeah. No, it's a good one.
He's like, yo, man, check it out. The shit just stopped.
Oh, man, a fucking cigarettes. Yeah.
Next thing they look at each other, it's like, let's get the fuck out of here. But, like at least in Australia, it might have been different in America because they had like Saturday Night Live, and I think a lot of people had grown up, you know, with Eddie Murphy's stuff. But like Beverly Hills Cop was the first time we'd really heard of him over here, and so Beverly Hills Cop became famous, and then people went back and watched Eddie Murphy Delirious.
Raw and Delirious.
Well, you didn't even watch it. You could hire the VHS, but before that, you listened to the fucking cassette tape.
Yeah.
And you're like, someone,
go down and hire the VHS.
and then someone would tell you, you know, it's available on VHS, and you're like, What, the fucking cassette tape? Yeah, you can actually get the whole fucking stand-up routine on VHS.
Yeah.
Which, for the younger members playing along at home, VHS was like the early equivalent of like streaming it. It was like an early DVD.
Yeah, wild times.
We had this plastic cassette tape called a VHS.
Wild times.
Yeah. But geez, I remember watching Delirious for the first time, and that was just like, wow. You're like, who is this guy? This shit is amazing. Like, funny from start to finish.
Yeah.
You know, and to be able to just to get up on, you'd know yourself, like to be able to get up on stage and make people laugh like that, like fucking what a gift.
Yes, he's pretty funny.
Do you ever find yourself on stage having that bit of an out of body, like looking down on yourself moment where you're like, I suppose you're that much in the moment.
Some gigs a bit, yeah, it just depends. Sometimes it goes, when it's going really well, you can you get a sort of a split, you know, you're doing the gig, but then there's a bit back, you know, a sort of external consciousness watching you do it, just going, fucking, this is great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you like...
Conversely, you get that same external consciousness going, fucking hell, this is... you are eating shit right now, my man.
Which you'd have to drown that voice out, wouldn't you? You know, you've got like the angel and the devil on your shoulder.
Yeah.
And they're going, it's fucking crickets, Mick. What was that bullshit?
This is fucking hard.
I fucking told you last time and that fucking bit didn't work. Don't do that again. You got crickets last time and now you're doing it again.
Blame the audience. You guys are shit.
You guys wouldn't know fucking good comedy.
I'm talking to you. Direct you fucking... Yeah.
Don't make me go all Kramer on you.
Yes. It's a... I don't know. It's pretty good. It's good to be able to just... I mean, it's indoor work with no heavy lifting, you know?
Yeah. But you've got to be good.
Yeah, you've got to work hard, yeah.
Yeah.
You've got to do the work. No shortcuts.
Well, you know, that was exactly what we're saying in the very last podcast with John Kreisfeld. He was, you know, we were talking about Seinfeld's gig where he booked out Madison Square Garden, said, I'll give you the secret to success. And it was just do the work.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what it's. What do they say about you know, hard work will take you where talent never will?
Yeah. Do the work.
Yeah. Mind you, if you can have a bit of talent and do the fucking work, that helps too.
This is the talent is a. It's just sometimes it's just genetics. I don't know. I remember watching one thing about a guy talking about filming with Brad Pitt. And he's like, it's like, oh yeah, Brad Pitt's great. You see him in all these movies and you think he's fucking great. And then I'd never worked with the guy before, but it wasn't, you know, till that first day. And then you realise, so he's like, oh, I'm watching him through the camera and just thinking, fuck, he looks good. You know, and then you look back at the replay, which is a slightly bigger screen. And he's like, hey, wow, that scene looks great. Jeez, he looks good. And then you go back that night to watch through the rushes and you're watching it on a bigger screen again. It's like, wow, he looks amazing. And then you go and then you're watching the first edit on the big screen in a cinema. It's like, wow. And he's like, you can't fuck him up. You know, like he's got that presence or whatever it is.
100%. And I think that's half of the thing is that if you are at that level of anything, not just as an actor, at anything, you do have that ability to make it look easy and to make it look effortless.
Yeah.
You know, and you watch and be, oh, fucking anyone could do that.
Yeah. That's how,
I've heard Tom Cruise. I only saw a clip recently someone was interviewing. I think it was an older clip. I don't think it was him talking recently, but they were saying, you know, talking about his process. And he was saying, you know, like when you first start out, you just want to remember the lines and don't look at the camera sort of thing. But he said, it's once you start to build the layers on top of that and you're starting to take into account how you're interacting with your distance from the lens, the direction, not just where your eyes are, that you're not looking at the camera, but where your eyes are in relation to the camera and what effect each little thing can have. Yeah. And just the nuances and the layers that go into that performance. And you're like, yeah, well, like there's a reason that you're as successful as you are. You know, and he's a classic for hard work. He's the hard work and the talent.
You also get to build that knowledge by doing it over and over and over and over.
Oh, for sure.
And you don't get that opportunity unless you've got what they're looking for.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, what's that? Have you ever watched If we watch the extras, Ricky Gervais?
I have, yes. Yeah, that's
when he's saying to Sir Ian McKellen, and he's like, do you have any advice for me about acting? He goes, well, my boy, the secret to acting is you have to pretend to be someone else. See, I'm talking to you right now, and I'm just me. But ready? Watch this. Thou shalt not pass. Did you see that? I was pretending to be someone else. And that, my boy, is the secret. Fuck, that cracks me up every time I think about it.
I first started watching that show when I was acting, and you're just like, I think I've learned more about acting from this show than I have from any acting course, you know.
So good. Because he'd written his script. I only started watching again I think I watched the first episode. But then he goes and he writes his script and he tries, and they're like, no, you've got to have the silly cat. I don't want the silly catchphrase. No, you've got to have the silly cat.
And then have you seen his bit where he's taking the piss out of the American Office? Ricky Gervais.
Was it like an Oscars speech or an?
I think it was. Yeah. And he's like, yeah. No. So they gave you a fucking Oscar, or whatever it was.
Yeah, they gave you an Emmy.
An Emmy, was it?
Yeah.
And he's like, and I wrote the fucking shit. And they're like, yeah, well, we're going to make an American version of it. Oh, yeah, no, look, I'm available. Well, we don't want you to play it, but I fucking wrote it and I created it and I'm the role and I starred in it. So wouldn't it make sense to have me in it? No, we don't want you. We don't want the chubby little pale Englishman to play that role. You know? Classic. And then they made an Australian version too.
They did make an Australian version, yes.
Yeah. I haven't seen it.
I watched it.
Okay.
Yes, I watched it. I know several of the people in it.
Right. Any names you want to drop?
Oh, no, not really. I'll just say, it just fucking, you know, one of the things that my drama lecturer used to say was, before you get, why? This is the question.
What's your why?
Yeah, why? Why are you doing this? Why are you... And then why are they... There's already great English Office, and there's already great American Office, and you're never going to make anything... Like, if you'd made the Australian Office before the American Office, okay, give it a crack.
Yeah.
But, there's no point now.
No.
It's like, why? It's never going to... It's never going to be...
Because next thing you like CSI Sydney and... Yeah.
It's just, it's like... So it was everyone did the best they could with what they had, but it was like they're performing under the weight of this giant fucking thing.
And it's never gonna...
particularly for Australia, they could make a Tibetan, they could make a Mongolian office. Yeah. Because they're not swamped with UK and American culture and shows, and they don't have it on, probably. They could make a Chinese office. Yeah. But they could, making an Australian one when we have an English one and an American one, it's just like... What would
a Chinese office look like?
It would probably just look like a fucking idiot boss with a bunch of fucking employees that don't give a fuck about their job.
Just the same.
Yeah. But it wouldn't have that cultural fucking weight on top of it of the first two, which were awesome. Yeah. So there's no need for this one. Yeah. Not in Australia anyway. No. That was my thoughts. Yeah. It just felt silly.
Yeah. But I mean, horses for courses, different markets, they work, but for different reasons.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that. I just sort of felt silly. Yeah. Anyway.
He's a funny bastard, Ricky Gervais.
Yeah. Yeah. Very. He's good.
Yeah.
He's good. He obviously there are other writers working on his shows and stuff like that, but they're really well written. Afterlife is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a well-populated community, the characters in it and stuff like that. Yeah. That's the That was one of the keys, even just to the mailman and
Yeah.
just odd bod.
And, I've said it before, there's a few shows like, before you mentioned Game of Thrones, like Yellowstone was the same. If you can tick all of those boxes, like it all starts with great writing. That's the starting point. Anything basically Taylor Sheridan put his hand to was just, he had the Midas touch. He still does. He could just, whatever he writes is gold. But then they back it up with really good fucking actors, really good production, really good directing.
Yeah.
And if you can tick all of those boxes, like, you're just going to make one of those absolutely iconic shows that's just...
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It's about the... it's like you got to create that community, they've got to look like they belong to you. Who are these people? And they've got to look like...
Yeah. And then there's extra things that happen. You get, the individual performance in the individual actors. You get the synergy that they create because they have an on-screen. Yeah. They have that chemistry,
Yeah.
And you just, it takes on a life of its own, And I've spoken previously about where, I think it was with Reacher where... the writer has a particular thing in mind, but then the actor's given it another level, another dimension that even they hadn't written in, that they hadn't seen coming. And they're like,
taking a life of their own.
I didn't think it could even go to another level, but it clearly has, know.
Well, it's in the sense that, like, Kurt Vonnegut talks about that when he's, like, in his process of writing or whatever, where he's like, he created the characters and then they just went on to do whatever it was they had to do. And by the end of the book, he was as excited to find out what it was they did as anyone.
Yeah.
And then that's part of that TV, that movie, that creation process, isn't it? You build the characters.
That collaborative.
Yeah. I started reading about script writing, where it's screenwriting, where it's screenwriting is not art, it's an invitation to make art. With other people.
I like that.
So, like, you can write, you can write 1,000 fucking screenplays.
Yeah.
But they're only going to get turned into a movie if someone says, and then someone else has to go, I'll direct that, and then someone else has to, I'll act in that,
Yeah.
And then they...
I heard Joaquin Phoenix on Theo Von's podcast the other day, and they were talking, about the process. And Joaquin was saying how sometimes you do a take and you're like, he said, I don't say this to myself a lot. He said, but occasionally you'll be like, fuck yeah. That's the one.
Yeah.
Like, that's the shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, the film comes out, it didn't even make it out of the editing room.
Right.
They've cut that out altogether.
Yeah.
But then they've chosen another version where he hadn't done that particular thing, that when it was added with this other ingredient, this other part and this other part, and when they go together, you're like, oh, fuck yeah. He'd be like, you try not to have preconceived ideas. You're trying to listen to what the other actor's saying, and you're trying to work with that, and it's, it takes on a more of an authentic, response. Yeah. But he says occasionally you'll have, look, in this scene I'm going to do this, and in that scene I'm going to do that. And he's like, yeah, fucking that's the shit. That's the one. Yeah,
because you can only do that if you're acting in a scene by yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
Whereas if you can walk into any... as soon as you have to act with someone else and you think, I'm going to play it like this, and then they take something from you and fucking twist it, it's like, now I'm doing it like this, and fuck, it feels different over here,
Yeah. Which is what good actors should do. They should take, it's not like they say.
Boy, good acting is reacting.
I was just about to say, it's not acting, it's reacting.
I was not even there.
I was not even there, man. Oh, God. Well, anything else before we wrap it up?
No, how are you?
Mate, I'm great.
All right.
I'm doing what I want to do, what I should have done a long time ago, podcasting.
Yep.
I think I spoke about it in the pilot episode with Michelle. It kind of just made sense. Like, it was something that I'd wanted to do. And it goes back again, talking about the degeneration and Mick Malloy. I remember watching those guys early on and just going, oh, fuck, I'd love to do that. And like even out of the D-Generation and then the Late Show, Mick Malloy was always my favourite. You know, I think you sort of gravitate towards a certain person. And then later on, Mick Malloy with Tony Martin end up doing, you know, their radio show. They're doing, you know, which became the Poop Shoot and, you know, the Martin Malloy show, and they released the Poop Shoot albums. I can remember early 90s just going, that's what I want to fucking do.
Yeah.
Like listening to Tony Martin and Mick Malloy talk on the fucking radio in that, you know, afternoon drive time sort of time slot. Man, that was just the funniest shit you've ever heard. Like to the point where they released it.
Great show, yeah.
And they released it as a CD, like the Poop Shoot.
Yeah.
It became they released it. It was like its own stand-up thing.
Yeah.
You know, and just remember thinking I'd always loved it. And then he did the same, you know, when they did the Kennedy Malloy show.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing. Like she was there from day one. She was there from Jane Kennedy back in the D-Generation and the Late Show and the Castle and, you know.
Did I send you that? Did I send you a picture of the time I did a gig with Guido Hatzis?
No.
I did a gig with Guido Hatzis.
I still to this very day will say to Michelle, mate, do not talk over me, my friend.
I'll fly kick you to the head, my
I
friend.
will fly and kick you to the head, mate. Oh, that was some funny shit.
Yeah.
That was some seriously funny shit. Again, you probably couldn't get away with half of that today.
Oh, look, you can get away with fucking a bunch of other shit, though.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Good talking to you, Craigie boy.
You too.
Thanks for having me in your universe.
Mate, it's been a pleasure. You've always been in the, like I say, you were there since the Big Bang. You were there since the beginning. You're part of the origin story.
Yeah, we'll come back. We'll do it again sometime.
Let's do that. Look forward to it. Well, thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure.
You be good.
Who ends? Who talks last?
Whoever likes. It just depends on where the editors cut it, I guess. So we just keep talking and it'll just disappear.
Headphones are off.
And we're out. Thanks, Mickey Nev. Appreciate it.